Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. Here's Steve Scafidi.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Thursday show. I don't know about you, but if a rocket explodes, is that still a successful launch? It kind of gives me a little hesitation. I don't know. I'm not as excited as I was before. The launch was good, but then the blowing up part gives me a little pause. I mean, come on, guys. Again, Elon Musk, focus on one thing. All that Twitter time, taking the blue check marks away from, focus on the launching. There's going to be men and women in that thing at some point. My goodness. Welcome, everybody. Thursday edition. Don't forget, 1108. That's what Steve said. Thank you to the Mind Chef Restaurant. They are the providers of our $30 gift card we give to each winner of our weekly That's What Steve Said competition. And if you don't know, beautiful downtown Hartford, also in Oshkosh, and strategically enough, every Thursday, buy one pizza, second pizza free. So Mine Shaft, amazing restaurant. You hear John talk about it all the time. It's one of his favorite restaurants. I haven't been there enough to make that distinction, but everything I hear about it sounds amazing, and I will go there and celebrate with maybe one of the winners. How about that? We'll make that promise. All right. I was sort of talking about this yesterday when it comes to, I don't even remember how we got on the topic. Maybe somebody that was listening yesterday will remind me. I kind of moved from one day to the next, and I don't, not a lot of carryover, but on this one, it prompted something in me to bring it back. And it has to do with hot topics among Wisconsin voters in our elections. And unless you're in a cave, abortion/women's health was probably one of the principal drivers of this massive turnout that we saw in Wisconsin for our April general election. And I guess my question is, we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, Supreme Court probably will weigh in at some point on that important decision, what states do with abortion rights, women's health issues. But I asked it in my show poll today, and you can find it on Twitter at 620 WTMJ or at WTMJ Steve. Give me a follow if you could. If you don't have the twits, easy enough. Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620. So if abortion/women's health issues was the issue that drove turnout in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race in April, what's the next hot topic in Wisconsin politics? Now, I threw this out this morning. Almost have 200 votes already, so lots of interest. And I will tell you that I gave you a few choices. Gun violence, marijuana legalization, taxes, and other. And I'll get to the other in a second. Right now, leader on the course, gun violence at 53%. I would say that's more of a national topic, no? Marijuana legalization, right about 33%. So why is this important? So I was looking at stories, random journalism on the marijuana question. And as Eric and Vince pointed out, it's 420 Day today. So it goes all the way back to California high schools when the kids would meet at supposedly 420 to smoke the weed. Now nobody waits till 420, trust me. And as they also pointed out on the Wisconsin Morning News program, we are an island surrounded by legalized marijuana in various formats. So I just pulled a couple stories quickly. This one is from Wisconsin Public Radio last fall, November, looking at how Wisconsin voters feel about marijuana legalization and what they want to do about it. So just in the biggest counties, Milwaukee and Dane, 81% of Dane County voters said, yeah, legalize it. 74% in Milwaukee County. And you pick 8 other counties in Wisconsin, it's almost across the board. It's like 3 out of 4, basically, is the way I would describe it. Rising, by the way, in popularity. I agree with that assessment. I'm answering my own show poll. I want to know what you have to say about it. 855-616-1620. Phone calls certainly welcome. I think this is the issue that's going to drive Wisconsin politics. Because here's why I say that. One, extremely popular. And I know that everybody doesn't support it, and I welcome calls from people that don't, or texts. But there's a revenue piece, There's a stubbornness piece. Why do I say that? Medicinal marijuana. We know that most experts on this issue tell us that for those people who are suffering from pain, terminal patients, cancer patients, chronic pain, consumption of marijuana can help with those issues. And for our legislature / governor to not address the medicinal piece, whatever you think about recreational, is a crime, an absolute crime. It can be controlled, it can be regulated, it can certainly be made legal, and the fact that we haven't done that is shameful. That's my take. What's yours after this?
This is the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely baseball season. This is your place to catch every pitch.
Here it is. He struck him out swinging.
Home run.
Going back onto the track. It is gone. Mike Brasso goes deep.
And everything in between.
I want to find that tape. We got to find that tape. We'd be better off listening to adhesive tape.
We are the home of the Brewers on WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Badger Fence. I've told you about the fantastic cedar fence we had installed at our property about 3 years ago. We did our homework. We chose cedar. We chose Badger Fence. They've been installing high-quality, durable fences in the Metro Milwaukee area since 1945. That's right, 1945. Proud member of the Better Business Bureau, A-plus rating, as well as a member of the National Association of the Remodeling Industry. Of privacy, security, and a wide choice of fence styles are top of mind when choosing your fence. Then Badger Fence is the right company. Licensed, bonded, insured, all the things that guarantee they're going to use the finest materials in the industry and design a fence with premium fence materials, design options, and affordability, all part of that experience. So whether you want wood, ornamental, chain link, even PVC, they can help you choose the right materials for your fencing project. And when it comes to quality, unmatched in the industry and at the most competitive prices. We love our new wood fence, and when my wife Kathy and I were shopping around for fence companies, we found the right match with Badger Fence. Set up an appointment. BadgerFence.com. Easy. BadgerFence.com. Tell them Steve from WTMJ sent you.
If the only tool you have is a hammer, everything you fix looks like a nail. Same thing goes for some annuity salesmen. Need help with tax planning? Maybe you need an annuity. Recession coming? Have you tried an annuity? Retirement planning? You get the picture. Sometimes you need more than a one-tool solution. It's time for serious fee-only fiduciary planning from Annex Wealth Management. Our in-house team of experts will offer you a rigorously tested plan built just for you. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
In Wisconsin, our festivals and events are in full swing all summer long. Here's to seeing legendary golfers at the U.S. Senior Open Championship in Stevens Point, to joining thousands of your closest music-loving friends at Summerfest in Milwaukee, and to wondering, where art thou, Romeo, at the Wisconsin Shakespeare Festival premiere this summer in Eau Claire. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Find more summer events at travelwisconsin.com.
Now, more of the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
I love the text line, and this is a great text because it challenges me, but it allows me to explain. 262, you are honestly just said that gun violence is more of a national topic. You realize you live in Milwaukee and you broadcast in Milwaukee. There's a lot of shootings in Milwaukee from guns. It's not a national topic. It absolutely is a national topic. Why do I say that? Solutions on gun violence aren't going to just come from states. They're going to come from our federal governments, from our national attitude about guns and gun violence. And if you're looking at marijuana versus guns, realistically, even in a state as stubborn as Wisconsin when it comes to politics, both from the lawmakers and from the voters, it is highly more likely that the marijuana legislation would happen well before anybody touched gun laws in the state. That's why I said it. But that's a fantastic text. Not text of the day, then. Not ready to give that yet. But it's a fantastic text. And trust me, we focus on crime and violence in Milwaukee plenty. From the 262, Morning, I live in Kenosha. Every single gas station, mini mart, whatever, except for Quick Trip sells bonds, bowls, all types of marijuana. Oh, I see. Marijuana paraphernalia. So they're selling it. It's obviously not illegal for us to have it. They're selling it. Then how come they're not making marijuana itself legal? Could be making a lot of money. Yeah. We play the game. We always have. It's like all that behind the scenes, off the books gambling that happens in bars and restaurants in Wisconsin. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Yeah, it's not legal, but we do it anyway. And my wife, Kathy, and I were out to dinner, and we're looking in this restaurant. It looked like Vegas on this hallway. There were so many machines in there. 262. The next issue would be abortion because the legislature refused to address it. That was an issue also that's national, but also very local because it impacted our Wisconsin Supreme Court race. That's why I said that. I'm asking what the next issue is. I'm not saying one is more important than the other because obviously marijuana versus gun violence, not the same thing. Tons of text on this. You're welcome to join us on the phone, 855-616-1620. You know, Steve, everybody and their brother can have as many weapons and as much ammunition as they can get, but if a few people have access to marijuana, the world will go to hell in a handbasket. Yeah. It does seem sort of, there's a disconnect there, right? And I'm not sure that everybody's aware of this, so I'll restate it. I've talked about this before. In Illinois, it's legal. I have friends, neighbors who travel to Illinois and buy marijuana. Now, they can purchase it legally down there. Bringing it back is not legal. But again, wink, wink, nod, nod. Anybody cracking down on that? I doubt it. Illinois made $500 million in tax on marijuana sales. And I think the estimate was at least $40 to $50 million of that was from out-of-state sales, a large number from Wisconsin, large percentage of that. Look, I do make the separation. Medicinal, recreational. Recreational, you can make some arguments. Do we have the testing apparatus so that law enforcement can tell if somebody's driving under the influence of marijuana? Abbott Labs, I told this story yesterday. They've developed some equipment that can do this. Are we committed to purchasing that? I don't know. Maybe some of our law enforcement folks who listen to the show can tell us. And I highlight Abbott Labs because they were kind of the leaders in that. Are there health risks to recreational marijuana? There's health risks to anything. Last time I checked, they haven't said alcohol's going anywhere. 920, Old National Bank talking text line. The fact that at a minimum medical marijuana is not legal is truly ridiculous. Shows that the legislature does not listen to the people that elect them. I believe that medical and recreational should be legal. No one is moving to Wisconsin because it's illegal here. Shows how powerful the Tavern League is in this state. I'm not disputing that. We are a stubborn state. As much as our leaders would like to tell us they think forward and are forward thinking and leading the curve, none of that's true. If you look at a class picture of the Wisconsin State Legislature, it looks like a class picture from a high school in the 1930s in northern Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? Not much has changed. And for some reason, maybe it's the power of certain lobbies, maybe it's just good old plain stubbornness, maybe it's the I'm right, you're wrong mentality that's infected intelligent discourse in this country and in the states. Despite overwhelming supports in every poll I've seen in this state about both medicinal and recreational, they don't care. Steve, this is from the 920. Steve Lasser, Devin LeMahieu, the Senate Majority Leader in the state of Wisconsin, flat out said he would not allow legal marijuana because it would make Wisconsin a rogue state. If he indeed said that, I didn't see that quote. That makes no sense. There's nothing rogue about that. We're surrounded by it. Surrounded by it, including the great country of Canada. Now, I've said this before on this issue. We can actually benefit from being slow on this because we can learn from their mistakes. But at some point, the educational process has to move to the acceptance process. Voters, residents, have already said yes. The last group, no surprise, lawmakers. little slow on the uptick, little traditional in their values, perhaps. Please, anywhere. Hey, Steve, playing a little devil's advocate here, but it's about bringing money in, like Illinois makes a lot of money on marijuana, but then why not make prostitution legal? Because look at all the tax revenue we can get. Completely different topic. I would be much happier if we went after the people that use prostitutes than the prostitutes themselves, but you know how that works. For the 414, love the challenging text. Basically for you, it's all about the money, right? No. I said medicinal marijuana. Listen better, be smarter. Listening is a skill. Medicinal, start with that. Pain relief for all those people that are saying, help me out here. I'm not going to be around that long. Ease my pain. And we, for some reason in the state of Wisconsin, can't get out of our own way and make those people more comfortable. And my simple question is why? 855-616-1620. Got a couple phone calls lined up. Lots of texts. Is this the next big issue? I say yes. We'll hear what you have to say after this.
This is the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Best record in the league?
With their 58th win of the season.
Check. Number 1 seed?
As the Bucks have clinched the number 1 overall seed going into the playoffs.
Check. Next up, another championship.
And the road to the NBA title will go through the Cream City of Milwaukee.
Listen to the Bucks tear through the playoffs right here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
For 3 decades, Top Fitness has been the most respected name in home fitness from coast to coast, and now they've opened their newest and largest showroom in Brookfield. Top Fitness has the biggest and best selection of exercise equipment, accessories, and gym flooring to build your perfect home gym. This month, save big during the annual floor model sale. All floor models must go. Save up to 70% off store-wide for a limited time while supplies last. Plus, save up to $1,000 on Precor treadmills and ellipticals. The Top Fitness team of experts can design your dream workout space with a complimentary 3D home gym design, so you can visualize what getting fit in the comfort and safety of your own home will look like. They offer professional delivery and assembly. Plus, for a limited time, enjoy 12 months of interest-free financing. Stop by Top Fitness in Brookfield on Blue Mound Road and online at topfitness.com. Top Fitness, your best choice in home fitness equipment.
It's the Commercial Real Estate Minute, presented by CarW.com.
Investing in real estate is less science than it is art, especially in today's financing environment. With rising interest rates, changing debt requirements, and increasing volatility in the market, commercial real estate is still one of the most stable, long-term hedges against inflation. But getting the deal done now requires more creativity than ever, especially in sourcing capital where there are sensitivities to time. Traditional and non-traditional financing from national, regional, and local sources may not be adequate, and private funding may not be an option. Your lending and brokerage partners will help you evaluate your asset and explore all avenues for financing, including CMBS or mezzanine structures that diversify your offer and strengthen your deal. Knowledge and expertise, just like financing, comes from multiple sources. Leverage your commercial real estate partners now to secure your investment in the future.
For more commercial real estate market insights, visit CarW.com.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a 6-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
This is the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
I say it's the next big issue in Wisconsin, marijuana. A lot of you disagree, which is fine, and you have some good points to make. Let's bring somebody in who's living in a state that actually has legalized marijuana. Ray from Illinois. Welcome, Ray.
Hey, good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. What do you think?
Well, first of all, personally, I don't think it should have even been legalized here. But that's a personal opinion. I think it stinks. It's disgusting. It's worse than cigarettes. And I do separate between medical and recreational. Now, what Illinois didn't do right, which if you're going to do this in Wisconsin, is they didn't regulate it right. To me, it should have been, if it was going to be legalized, it should have followed the smoking laws, basically that you can't smoke anywhere, pot anywhere that you can't smoke cigarettes. I'm afraid it could cause real issues with, I have a friend who sometimes doesn't drive, sometimes has to take her daughter to school in an Uber and gets into an Uber and somebody's been smoking pot. She's afraid the school's going to smell that on her and say, wait a minute, what's your daughter doing around pot? We're calling the Children and Family Services. So,
interesting.
I think we need to be really, really careful. We weren't careful going down this road. So if Wisconsin's going to do this, make sure you regulate it a lot better than Illinois did. But I actually agree. Medicinal, yes, that should be legalized.
Thanks for the call, Ray. And Ray, I think Ray gets it, right? And as I said, we can learn from what everybody else is doing. The Michigans, the Illinois, the Minnesotas, the Canadas, country of Canada. Learn, as Ray just pointed out, maybe there's some things we need to tighten up. And if we're in that process, moving towards legalization, okay. But at some point, get on with it. Here's what I know about Wisconsin voters. They spoke loudly and clearly in April about what I think was a strong pushback against the slowness of the states, the unwillingness of the legislature to look at the 1849 abortion law. And they said in their votes, no, not having this. I would expect voters to start saying the same thing in some of the other issues. Gun violence, absolutely. Although a lot of that's shaped by national conversations. Marijuana, absolutely. Redistricting, you bet. Voters have power if they wield it. And I'm telling you, on marijuana, there's going to be a point here where whatever the legislature thinks about what the all-powerful, all-knowing legislature, some of them, the voters are going to say, you're wrong. We've told you what we think on this. Change it. That's the reality. That's why I think it's the next big issue. 9:32 from our Breaking News Center, Finn Askin.
Thanks, Steve. A guilty verdict for a woman from Shorewood on trial for spitting on a teenager during a protest in 2020. Stephanie Rapkin was charged with disorderly conduct. She had turned down a plea deal demanding the case to go to trial. Rapkin will be sentenced in a month. Conversations about marijuana legalization return to Madison today. A Democratic state senator will host a news conference to kick off a grassroots tour. It'll include stops around the state promoting cannabis legalization. And a former Wisconsin Parole Commission chairman and recent Racine alderman is now charged with a felony. John Tate II is accused of using his position as a public official for private interests. According to the criminal complaint, Tate used his position as a Common Council president to create a new position in Racine city government. 3 months after creating that position, Tate applied for the job, became a finalist, and then negotiated for higher pay before accepting the job himself. In time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Right now, the Dow is down 133 points, the S&P 500 is down 19 points, and the NASDAQ is down 36 points. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. And taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. No delays on the roads at the moment. 94 inbound from Highway 16 to the Zoo is 10 minutes. The Zoo to downtown is 5. 41 northbound from the Zoo to Highway Q is 14 minutes. And 43 inbound from Brown Deer Road to the Marquette Interchange is 10.
Traffic is sponsored by Smart Spaces. Adapt to the modern workplace. SmartSpacesWI.com.
How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Creating technology, great culture, spaces that people really want to come to, attract talent, and keep that talent.
SmartSpacesWI.com.
And here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, showers and storms likely, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high of 65 degrees. Tonight, showers ending, mostly cloudy with a low of 41. Friday, partly cloudy with a high of 58 degrees. Saturday, cloudy and cooler with a slight chance for showers and a high of 48. Sunday, partly sunny and cool with a high of 46. And Monday, mostly sunny with a high of 50. Right now, Milwaukee, it is 52 degrees. I'm Finn Askin, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:34.
After the break, we'll check in with Debbie Lozico, who's out at Hellfair Field collecting items for the Wisconsin Humane Society. We'll talk to Debbie next on WTMJ.
I'm Susan Hiller with Howard Gleason from Hiller Ford on Highway 100. Are you thinking of trading in your old car for a new one, but want to make sure you get the very best price for your trade-in?
Or maybe you would just like to sell your old car or truck and not buy a new one. Here at Hiller Ford, we want your vehicle and will pay top dollar for it, whether you trade it in or not.
Stop in to see us. You might be surprised at how much you'll pay for your car. Come in with your old car and walk out with a check. We hope to see you soon at Hiller Ford.
Join Trees on the Move this weekend from 9 to 4 for our annual Mother's Day sale with savings up to 30% on selected nursery stock. Maples, linden, birch, ornamental trees, flowering crab, and all varieties of evergreens. There's over 20,000 trees to choose from. Our landscape architects will be on hand to answer all of your patio, retaining wall, and backyard questions. Call 262-679-5200 for more info or seetreesonthemove.com.
From planning to planting, Trees on the Move.
Say cheese! Whether you like it with tomato soup or with bacon on sourdough, the cheese stands alone. The 10th Annual Wisconsin Grilled Cheese Championship returns on Saturday, April 29th at the Lye Memorial Pavilion at Harris Park in Dodgeville, Wisconsin. General admission is free. VIP tickets are $30 and will be available at the door. VIP tickets include a sandwich, drink, soup, and a goodie bag. Visit the Wisconsin Grilled Cheese Championship Facebook page for more information. It's the Wisconsin Grilled Cheese Championship on Saturday, April 29th in Dodgeville, Wisconsin.
I'm Susan Hiller with Howard Gleason from Hiller Ford. We've got 24 2022 vehicles left on the lot, F-150s, Escapes, and more, all priced to sell fast.
With Ford financing, we're offering 0.9% financing for 66 months on all remaining 2022 F-150s and 0% financing for 66 months on remaining 2022 Escapes.
This special offer ends May 1st, so come in today and find out why so many people love to buy from Hiller Ford.
Now, more of the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Perfect intro. She's collecting money and items for the Wisconsin Humane Society. Joining us from Hellfair Field, just outside a beautiful American Family Field, our own Debbie Lozico. Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning, Steve.
So how is it going out there on this kind of rainy morning?
It's going pretty well. I mean, the rain stopped for long enough for us to at least get a good chunk of time here. Do not let the weather scare you away, though, because we've got plenty of space in our boxes, on our pallets for all the pet supplies that we're hoping to collect. We've been collecting a lot of money, too, which has been really cool. But, yeah, we're here with the Brewers Community Foundation and the Wisconsin Humane Society to pick up pet supplies, donations from everybody. It is a drive-through drive.
Easy peasy. Yep.
Yes, totally easy. It's really weird because people will drive through. They'll give us the either the money or the pet supplies, and I'll sit there wanting to chat with them, and I'm like, this is a drive-through. They're sitting in their car. Let them go to work. But no, it's been a blast. Now we do have plenty of room. I want more people to come out here because honestly, we got to fill up these pallets. I want to beat the 6 pallets that we built up last year, and basically, I mean, they need all sorts of different things like soft dog treats, dry and canned food, cat litter, peanut butter, potty training pads, and baby wipes, and soft dog toys, even gently used ones will work.
Now, what was the thing about the peanut butter? There's a certain kind of peanut butter that they can't accept.
Right. Yeah, there's an ingredient in some peanut butters. It's called xylitol. It starts with an X, though. Xylitol, and that can be dangerous for pets. So we want to make sure that the peanut butter that you pick up does not have that. I have not seen a peanut butter that has that in there. So I think it might be like, those might be like diet peanut butters or whatever that people,
Yeah.
But if you happen to have some, that would be awesome. That would be great because they use that for enrichment and to help out with some training with some of the shelter dogs. But they also help out with the Furry Friends Food Pantry. They collect all sorts of stuff for folks that might be kind of in financial hard times, And the Wisconsin Humane Society's mission is to not separate people from their animals, especially, they're so loved. And, people might have to turn their animals in if they don't have enough to be able to take care of them.
Yeah, I think sometimes people forget that food shortages impact pets as well, not just people.
Exactly. Yeah, and it is a responsible move if you can't take care of them, and Wisconsin Humane Society will help you out with that. But the nice thing is this food pantry is available for the community to come in and get what you need to be able to stay with your pets.
So I saw earlier you were handing out some bling. You still handing out some bling to the folks who are donating? What do you got out there?
Yeah, if you come by with a donation, we have a collectible Willie Adamas pin. It looks like a little jersey. It looks cool. There's also a bobblehead, a collectible bobblehead. There's a bunch of different ones, but I know Brandon Woodford is one of them. And then we also have the Milwaukee Brewers bucket hat.
Ooh, very cool.
Also donated and got
very appropriate for today's weather. Yes.
Exactly. So you get some bling as well. You give to High Five. We had the Johnsonville bratwurst out there earlier today. Doesn't really make for good radio because they don't talk. So, but we did have Herr Bratwurst out there giving high fives and things like that to folks that were donating.
Very cool.
It's been a lot of fun. They're going to be out here until 5 o'clock today, and also collecting things throughout the homestand this weekend.
Love it. Debbie Lazaga on behalf of the Wisconsin Humane Society, Brewers Community Foundation, collecting your items for dogs, all kinds of items, and they also can give you a little something back. Just get out there and help her out. Debbie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much. Please overwhelm me.
Yes. Keep her busy out there at Hope Fair Field right next to American Family Field. That's our own Debbie Lazaga. We'll take a break. Lots more to get to. I'm just getting warmed up on this Thursday. It's not that hard to do because it's 75 in the studio. Whoosh. Right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Heiser Automotive. I love working with Heiser. Currently driving a 2022 Lincoln Corsair. Love this vehicle. Still getting to know it a bit. The bells and whistles, all the technology. It's loaded, and it is I'll tell you, it's one of the smoothest rides you'll ever have in a vehicle. Find out for yourself. You can go test drive one at one of their 5 great locations. You can check out all of their great vehicles, pre-owned or new, at HeiserFord.com, Heiser.com. And right now, I want to tell you, they're really, really known for customer service. We all know that. But you'll never pay over MSRP, no hidden market adjustment fees, honest pricing, fantastic customer service. I know most of the people that work at the, I think it's the Glendale location, and they are fantastic to work with. That's just one of their 5 great locations. Find out for yourself. Check out their vehicles, Heiser.com or HeiserFord.com. Show up at one of their locations. They're also telling us that their body shops are ready and open for new clients. So they have a need to have a repair done or service work done. Visit Heiser.com for all your vehicle needs. That's why they say, today and every day, today is your day.
Group sales deals for the Wisconsin State Fair are here. Tickets are $12 each for an order of 50 or more until April 30th. Get additional discounts on your State Fair favorites, too. Check out the groups page at wistatefair.com for more details.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Stop into Ken Michaels Furniture for our sale on Braddington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Braddington Young is an American icon in quality leather upholstery. Whether you're looking for power recliners or stationary seating, BY's Furniture is made with enduring quality, outstanding comfort, and timeless styling. Save 35% now on Braddington Young upholstery at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield and Greenfield. Visit us today.
Now, more of the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for finding the show wherever you find your radio content, over the air, online, the stream. We're all over the place, wherever you get your podcasts. And I don't know if you know it, but every show we do, the entirety of the show, special interviews that we do, special features like If Steve Ruled the World, which is up tomorrow, all available either in their entirety or by segment, wherever you get your podcasts. And you guys have been killing our podcast page. Thanks for those listens and re-listens. Because I know you guys are always moving around, and sometimes you don't catch the whole thing, and you go back, and I get a lot of great questions and feedback from people going back to listen to the podcast. So, and if you ever want to respond back to me, whether I'm on the air or off the air, easy. Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620. Off the air, Steve.Scafidi, 2Fs1D at WTMJ.com. Can't make it any easier than that. All right. Now, if you listen to the show, I'm big on presenting stories that impact both sides of the political aisle. But I need some substance. For example, this next piece. The Hunter Biden investigation, whatever you want to call it. Questions, improper conduct, access to the White House, access to the vice president, his dad, when he was serving in the Obama administration, now access to the current president of the United States, Joe Biden. When there's news, we'll talk about it, and there's news. A whistleblower from the IRS, official title criminal supervisory agent, is seeking this whistleblower protection that sometimes allows individuals to protect their own rights, but yet give out important information to governmental agencies and the public on issues that are of high relevance to the security and safety of our country. This may be one of those stories. Now, I'll preface it with this. This is something that Democrats should encourage. Why do I say that? Joe Biden's running for president. Sounds, with all intentions, all of his comments, that he's running for president in 2024. I don't think that's in question. Other candidates have emerged. Robert Kennedy, Gavin Newsom. I don't think either one of those guys would beat out Joe Biden, but we have a long ways to go before that. But as long as this story hangs over the head of Joe Biden and certainly Hunter Biden, improper conduct, relationships with foreign countries and foreign entities, there's a shadow. And if a true whistleblower has sensitive information about a controversial subject like Hunter Biden, son of the president, Democrats and Republicans should encourage that investigation and that whistleblower protection. And let's just bottom line this. Nobody, I don't care what your politics are, should have more access than anybody else has. And you shouldn't get rich because your dad's president. You shouldn't get rich if your dad's in Congress. You shouldn't get rich for any of those reasons. Doesn't mean rich people don't have special privileges. They do. But when you use those privileges illegally, and again, these are allegations, an investigation is not only appropriate, but I think required. And since the House is controlled by Republicans, I do believe we will see some sort of an investigation into this. I completely agree with whistleblower protection in this case. I need to know what's real and what's not real, whether that laptop has something on it that was stolen. Hunter Biden said stolen from him, from a repair shop. I need to know what's real in this story. Because any voter should be able to make decisions on their voting with all possible information in front of them. Doesn't protect Democrats above Republicans or vice versa. Get the truth out there. That's why I said Democrats should encourage this. As long as it's not, as long as you stonewall, as long as you pretend there's nothing to see here, and there may not be, because what do we learn with the Fox case? Even in a slam dunk case, sometimes these things are settled. We never really find out. Thankfully, a lot of that information was released, so we knew that Fox commentators were lying about some of this stuff publicly. I want to see the evidence. I want to be able to judge the conduct of Hunter Biden and Joe Biden with real evidence, whether that's a congressional investigation, whether that's a Department of Justice investigation, and anybody who stonewalled this or got in the way also should face penalties. That's fairness. That's justice, taking the politics out of it. Now, I'm also not naive, because the reality in this country is, one, money buys extra justice, and I'm using justice in quotes because it's not really justice. And two, the privileged do get access to things that the less privileged don't get access to, including delays, including favorable media treatments. And I do buy into the theory that the more liberal press and media in this country have looked at this story as nothing to see here, even though there might be something to see here. And the only way we're going to find out real information is with an investigation, Congressional Department of Justice, and bringing Hunter Biden in to answer these questions. And if an IRS agent has information, protect him with whistleblower status. I can't say it any clearer than that. That's something Democrats and Republicans should encourage. If you have a thought on Hunter Biden, more than willing to have you air that thought in the form of a phone call or text. Text is easy. Phone's easy too, 855-616-1620. More after this.
This is the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Everything you need to know on your way home.
Both officers and the suspect have been identified in the fatal traffic stop in Barron County.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John McCure.
At the end of the day, you lost by double digits for the second time. You really ought to know how to lose by now.
Sandy Max.
This really is Louisville's time, and I don't know how long it's going to take to heal from this mass shooting.
And Greg Matzik.
13-0, whether it's 1987 or 2023, is spectacular.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on WTMJ.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, you got to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, shoulder, and back. Precision treatments. They're all done in office, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery. Discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine, especially this time of year. We all want to be living life to the fullest, doing the stuff that we love the most. And if you can get lasting relief and avoid going under the knife, well, it makes sense to check it out, right? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Hey, don't wait. 414-285-3474.
Double pane prices for triple pane protection right now. Installed only by craftsmen that meet the Semper Fi standard from your local veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
SemperFiRoofing.com.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535. 3535.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Now, more of the Steve Scafidi Show.
Talking about the breaking news on Hunter Biden yesterday, an IRS agent basically saying he has sensitive information about the current president's son, Hunter. And all I'm saying is, if there's information that shows illegalities, favoritism, because, hey, my dad was vice president, now he's president, let's see the evidence. From the net 262, I understand your point on Hunter Biden, but based on that logic, shouldn't the Trump kids be investigated for all their activities in the White House? If there's criminal activity, you bet. I'm asking for fair and equal treatment on both sides. I could care less about the politics of it. We have to get – this is the part that frustrates me about Washington, D.C. We got to get out of this mindset that one party's in charge and the other party's holding Congress, or vice versa, that we're only going to investigate one side. If people are breaking the law, go after them. So whether it's Hunter Biden or the Trump kids or Donald Trump, give me the information. And the other shocking thing about this is the time it takes for justice. Vincent Eric did a story. This is not the same topic, but it's an interesting analogy to this, about the local woman who spit on protesters. And everybody missed this piece. They all talked about, protesters doing this, and what about the protests? What about this woman? Blah, blah, blah. You know what the headline in that piece was for me? And I get you shouldn't spit on anybody. That case took 3 years. 3 years to go through the courts. Ultimately, she was found guilty. Anybody think that's justice? Because I don't. I know enough attorneys who, it seems to me, would want cases to move a little quicker. No, I know we have shortages in the courts. I understand all that. But that's not justice. So whether it's Hunter Biden, Donald Trump, I don't care, left or right. We have been waiting for too long to get justice on any of these questions. And you want to have the lack of justice, the lack of oversight, the lack of transparency, drag cases out over years. The fact that we're still talking about Donald Trump and January 6th and hiding documents or misusing documents or whatever he is eventually going to be charged with if that happens, or election fraud, whatever it is. This fall is 3 years since the election. He's running for the next election already. That's not justice, people. That's a lack of justice. 760, thanks for the long distance listen. I agree with the last text, Steve. I don't believe I've ever heard you talk about the illegal acts the Trump kids have committed. Show me something. Unlike a lot of other shows, I don't just say stuff because someone's posted something on social media. I need something, some facts. This was an actual IRS agent saying something. Now, a texter made this point. Maybe that agent is making a political point. Perhaps. Put him under oath. See what he's got. That's what investigations are about. Investigations aren't held or decided in the court of public opinion or on social media. There's lots of allegations that some of the Trump kids have benefited from their dad being president. But if there's nothing illegal, I don't care. But you got to have an investigation or at least a hearing to determine that. 414 nails it. Justice delayed is justice denied. 3 years for a spitting case. You serious? Rabid lefty here, the 262. Shoot Hunter out of a cannon, nobody cares. Even if he's guilty, he'll do 6 months playing tennis at Club Fed. Perhaps. But you know what it does? It settles this because I am sick and tired of seeing, why don't you talk about Hunter Biden? Why don't you talk about Hunter Biden? Because I need something. It's not hard, people. I don't talk about nonsense. I don't waste my time on that. News is next on WTMJ.
You're listening to the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Hi, it's Rose Gray from Fox World Travel. Our travel advisors can help you travel anywhere in the world. Whether you're looking for a group tour or prefer to customize your own unique experience, we have the expertise to craft your next extraordinary journey, including some amazing options from our partners, Globus Tours, Princess Cruises, Disney Vacations, and Avalon Waterways, just to name a few. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. There are memories to be made this summer, and Fox will get you there.
Siding Unlimited and Outdoor Living Unlimited share a unique outside-in showroom and an open house this Saturday from 9 to 1. Find it at 665 Larry Court, Waukesha. SidingUnlimited.com.
Before you buy an annuity, or worse yet, a variable life insurance policy, give us a chance to tell you both sides of the story.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
Go to financialstrategiesinc.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Your locally owned hometown station gives you the news and what it means to you. Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 10 o'clock, it's 52 degrees. Today, showers and storms likely, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high of 65. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Finn Askin. The Fire and Police Commission could set the standard for releasing body camera footage of critical incidents tonight.
For the department to have 15 days before public release of body cam video and only 48 hours before being required to show it to the family. Defense attorney Julius Kim tells WTMJ that hard deadline could make certain cases more difficult.
There could be technical difficulties that police run into. There could be witness difficulties that they run into.
Kim says his main concern is that the deadlines will lead to rushed investigations.
The last thing that you want is for things to be shown to a family that's not complete or that might misrepresent what actually occurred in one of these situations.
Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
Community is rallying around an Oconomowoc police officer as his family deals with the unexpected death of their 3-year-old son over the weekend. A fundraiser for Officer Adam Germain's family has raised more than $40,000 already. State Rep Barbara Dittrich tells WIC-TV.
Officer Germanis is one of those people who always has a smile on his face. People in the community love him.
The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office isn't releasing details about the incident other than to say it was a tragic accident that occurred on private property near Watertown. And Governor Evers says he's open to signing a bill that doubles fines and jail sentences for reckless driving. The bill passed through the state Senate with bipartisan support on Wednesday. Senator LaTanya Johnson tells TMJ4 News it was time for a change.
The last time fines were raised for this offense, I believe it was in 1953. And the reality is that the cost of the offenses now are not enough.
And a first offense now comes with a $500 fine, with everyone after costing $1,000. And Wisconsin's 2023 statewide tornado drill will not be held today. It is being postponed until tomorrow due to the potential for severe weather conditions throughout the day. The Wisconsin Department of Military Affairs saying Wednesday the decision was made to prevent confusion that may occur if real warnings need to be issued throughout the day. The schedule for the drill will remain the same on its new day. The National Weather Service will conduct NOAA weather radio tests at 1:45 and 6:45 p.m. and it can only be heard if you're listening to those devices. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Signing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, coming up on 10:03.
When big national banks make a decision, it requires many emails, phone calls, and plenty of video conferences from around the globe. When we make a banking decision, we do it over a cup of coffee in our office. Finding a local bank that's passionate about the community and knows your name is hard to find these days.
Good morning, Diane. Welcome back.
The search is over.
Waterstone Bank, proud to be your local bank for over 100 years. Love your bank as much as we love this community. Waterstone Bank, Waukesha, Milwaukee, and Washington County.
Member FDIC.
When it's time to get ready for spring, Blaine's Farm and Fleet is there to help with big savings on trusted brands like Milwaukee Tool. Right now, save $20 on an M18 cordless 2-speed grease gun kit. It's $279.99. Stay safe on the job with 3M Digital WorkTunes hearing protection with AM/FM radio, just $49.99. Pick up a DeWalt 5-horsepower 9-gallon wet dry vac. It's $89.99. And save on an all-terrain hand truck with 12-inch wheels, just $99.99. That's genuine value from Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spiritwear is vital. That's why Burkhardt Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spiritwear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spiritwear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhardt.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
Behind a go-ahead RBI single in the 7th inning off the bat of Bryce Terrain, the Milwaukee Brewers completed the series sweep of Seattle, defeating the Mariners by a final of 5-3 on Wednesday afternoon. The Brew Crew finished their 10-game West Coast road trip with an impressive 7-3 record. The 14-5 Brewers get an off day today. They are back at it Friday in Milwaukee, playing host to the Boston Red Sox to open up a 3-game series. No Giannis, no problem for the Bucks as they pulled off a record-setting performance in a 138-122 win over the Miami Heat in Game 2 of their best-of-7 playoff series. Brook Lopez led the team with 25 points and Drew Holiday added 24. Tied at a game apiece, the series now moves down to Miami for games 3 and 4. Game 3 will be played on Saturday night. Giannis will travel with the team, but it is unclear if he will suit up and play. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
And taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons paving, time saver traffic. 94 inbound from Highway 16 to the Zoo is 10 minutes. 41 northbound from the Zoo to Highway Q is 14 minutes. 4145 southbound from Q to the Zoo is 13 minutes. And 43 inbound from Brown Deer Road to the Marquette interchange is 10 minutes.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlands.com when you're due for service.
Here's a look at your WTMJ forecast. Today, showers and storms likely, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high of 65 degrees. Tonight, showers ending, mostly cloudy with a low of 41. Friday, partly cloudy with a high of 58. Saturday, cloudy and cooler, slight chance for showers and a high of 48. And Sunday, partly sunny and cool with a high of 46. In Milwaukee right now, it is 52 degrees. I'm Finn Askin, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, coming up on 10:07.
Breaking down the biggest stories, talking about what really matters, and bringing you the biggest forum to let your voice be heard. Now, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue, here's Steve Scafidi.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday show. So I talked about this yesterday, but I want to kind of refocus the conversation. Because I got a lot of text and email commentary last night about individuals who have decided their first course of action when they are approached by someone in their driveway, in a parking lot, at their door to their house, is to shoot, fire, killing or injuring the person that we found out later really wasn't intent on anything harmful or dangerous. They just either were in the wrong driveway, knocked on the wrong door, or got in the wrong car. So lots of commentary. And I want to applaud you because it was civil and honest. For example, the elderly individual who shot at the young man who knocked on the wrong door, looking for his younger brother. Individual was in his 80 years old. One of the callers, this is a voicemail last night. I was going to play it, but I thought, he didn't give me permission to play it, so I'm not going to. But I'll give you the quick version of what he said, that perhaps in situations like this, it's not necessarily racist, but fear. Older individual. Again, I'm not making any decision on whether it's racist or not until I see the actual trial involved, because the individual has been charged. Perhaps fear plays a factor. Young individual comes to your door, you're elderly, whatever that means, whatever context that you want to take away from that. So I just wanted to give air to that voicemailer who said that might be part of it. And that voicemail also said, I don't know if it's racism or not, but I think we have to be fair on that as well. Black teen, white homeowner. So there's certainly a context where you could say, on its face, might be racist. And I'm not dismissing that. But a lot of people in their commentary, text line, emails, and you can email me at steve.scafidi at 2fs1d at WTMJ.com, mention things like stand your ground. It's a Florida law. Been around for I think 18 or 20 years. It allows people to use deadly force when they reasonably, again, there's one of those legal terms that can be interpreted a million different ways. It's necessary to defend against a violent crime being committed against them. Not just a threat, reasonable use of force. Florida law. And there also is a part of that which never gets talked about. Is there's a duty to retreat as well. Not use deadly force. That never gets talked about. And the other one that gets talked about a lot is castle doctrine, and that is more of a legal concept. Defense of your home or your residence. And basically, simply put, says that your abode, could be a vehicle, home, you get inherent protections and in some cases immunities to protect your own life, defend your own life. But I'll tell you, and this is really what I want to get your thoughts, 855-616-1620. Whether it's the cheerleader case, they got in the wrong car, got back into the right car, individual that they ran into in the other car ends up shooting these teenagers, one of them very seriously injured in ICU as of yesterday. Or the young teenage girl who, along with her friends, she was a passenger in the vehicle, pulled into the wrong driveway in rural upstate New York. And the individual, the homeowner, in a rural, quiet area, very poor cell reception, which probably led to some of the confusion of the young drivers, fires into the vehicle, killing the passenger, young woman, simply because they were in the wrong place, wrong time. And I just mentioned the older individual with the black teenager. These aren't those things. You could possibly make a case for the elderly man because there was actually the doorway was engaged, right? Knocking on the door. Maybe. But again, it doesn't give you carte blanche to just start firing a weapon. And I think that's where the concern comes in. Understanding all the parameters of castle doctrine, stand your ground, the right of gun owners to protect themselves and their property, understanding all of that, which are important and constitutionally guaranteed. None of these cases speak to that or those defenses, in my mind. They are an overreaction. They are a demonstration of something that I think a lot of us have been fearful of, and that is the over-aggressive anger and hate that's out there based on things like race, gender identity, when you look at attacks on individuals who are trying to live their lives in a way that's different than most. Let's just put it that way. 855-616-1620. This is one of those moments. This is one of those times we got to figure this out. And if you listen to the show or if you don't, I am not a fan of vigilante justice. Although I was a big fan of Charles Bronson in the movie Death Wish, the original. That's a movie. And those people deserved it, trust me. But I don't want people acting out with guns in every situation because we are seeing this tragedy unfold every day. All of these cases happened in the last week. And there's more. Every day there's more cases. I'm looking at CNN monitor in the studio. Girl father shot after a basketball rolled in the neighbor's yard. Why? We need calmer heads. We need somebody to say, you know what? Take a pause here. And this speaks to something that I was also talking about yesterday is the anger management issue we have. Even in things that you would never, ever suspect would be angry. Conversations I have all the time on the show. There's always that element that it's small, but it's out there. But you don't need a lot of this to have a real problem. The overreaction, the over-enragement, if that's a word, of individuals who are faced with situations, they might be unsettling. You might not know what's going on. But there has to be a moment where you say, what's the right reaction? We're not getting that. We're going right to pull the trigger. That's not good for the country, and it's certainly dangerous when we have everything else that we've been talking about in this country, our culture, our society, our politics. This is one more amplifier of the noise that makes things more dangerous, not less. Love to hear what you have to say. 855-616-1620, the Old National Bank talk and text line. Lots more to get to. We'll do it after this on WTMJ.
This is the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
When severe weather strikes, you can count on WTMJ's Fleet Farm severe weather coverage to keep you safe and informed.
Tornado warnings in effect for Jefferson and Walworth counties.
I'm on Highway 11 now. For the last 5 minutes or so, it's been just an immense lightning storm.
If you're in Delavan, go to a place of shelter now.
Severe weather coverage on WTMJ. Sponsored by Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Educators Credit Union. I love that facility. That I go to the one on Howell Avenue, Oak Creek. I'm a brand new member, joined last year. They're also one of my newest supporters of Salute to Service, which will be unveiling, of course, in the month of May. And we all know that being a parent can be busy, right? Mind and money, I should say, from Educators Credit Union provides an easy way for parents to pay allowance, assign chores, and teach financial lessons all from their phones or computer with no monthly fees. How about that? Children and teens can even receive their own debit card, and parents can set limits, track spending. Win-win for parents and teens. Just another great perk of being a member. Like me, join me. Learn more at ECU.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
A big storm brewing. Don't miss it. It's Thursday Thunder this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. You could win a share of $400,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your club card April 1st through the 27th, and you could be one of 50 winners each Thursday. Showers might bring flowers, but Thunder brings the boom. Only at Potawatomi. More info at paysbig.com/thunder. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
At Evans Transportation, they love the sound of Milwaukee baseball. Bats cracking, crowds cheering, brats grilling. And Evans is a big fan of manufacturing runs, both on the diamond and in supply chain management. When manufacturers have accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, they come to Evans. Because just like in baseball, teams who know how to manufacture runs have the best chance of long-term success. Good luck to the Brew Crew from Evans and Delafield. Find them at evanstrans.com.
Vince Vitrano here for Johnson & Sons Paving. Driveway, walkway, parking lot, repairs or complete repaving. This is the quality, family-owned local company you can trust. Johnson & Sons does everything in-house, from designing your project to mixing their own asphalt. They're so proud of the work they do, they put their family name on the company. You'll find plenty of Johnsons. You won't find subcontractors. When you hire Johnson & Sons, you get them every step of the way. It's one-stop shop for projects of any size. JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
Now, more of the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Have we reached the point of no return? Are we overreacting with violence in situations that may not require it? Richard joins us from West Dallas. Welcome to the show, Richard. Good morning on WTMJ.
Good morning. I'm 68 years old. I have a conceal and carry permit. I do worry about my safety sometimes, but
this has gotten totally out of hand. We've gone beyond the tipping point.
How do we bring it back?
People
How do we bring
are-
it back, Richard? We're both gun owners. I think we're both responsible. How do we bring this back? And this is one of the reasons I'm talking about it, because this is driving me nuts, this overreaction, this over-reliance on the weapon when maybe common sense should take over.
I really haven't a clue. I wish somebody would come up with some way to bring this back. I lived in Texas for 22 years. They have a similar castle
doctrine
law. I knew a lawyer down there who told a homeowner who had shot a person, good thing you dragged them into the house after you shot them.
Well, that's unfortunate. Thanks for the call, Richard. Look, I said this, I think the last time I talked about a topic like this. It may be relatable, may not be. But when I was a younger person, I think it was 14, maybe 12, I took a gun safety course, which lays out some of the rules of the road, laws of the land, just expectations that you have a very dangerous weapon in your hand. Treat every gun as if it's loaded. Know your target and beyond. Just a couple of the basic ones. And now, in many places, and I for the life of me, I don't understand why this is a thing. We have decided to strip away all of the requirements for responsible gun ownership. Again, I know why it's happening, because it's the absolutists on the Second Amendment say there can be no restrictions, even though everybody knows there are restrictions. Can't bring a gun on a plane. That's the most recognizable one I can point out to you in most schools. There has to be some common sense restored here. And maybe this is a action point. You can agree or disagree. If you're going to have any kind of a license, concealed carry, whatever it is, open carry, whatever the rules are, some basic understanding of gun safety, I think has to be a prerequisite of that license or that ability. That's me saying that. Lamar joins us from Orlando. Welcome to the show, Lamar. Always great to talk to you.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for taking my call. You know, this is why I carry. I own guns. I carry guns. I don't carry as much as I used to. But this is why I'm becoming anti-Second Amendment. It's this absolutist idea that everyone should have a gun. Everyone needs a gun. And of the incidents that you named that happened in this past week, there was an incident in Texas back in February, which a man at 1 o'clock in the morning, 47 bullets into his neighbor's house over a barking dog. Mm-hmm. And it was the wrong house. Yeah. Not that he should have shot at the house with the barking dog, but it was the wrong house. And it's just we're giving gun owners more and more levity to own guns, which gives them more and more, they're wanting to use them more. There's no de-escalation, none of that. There was an incident in Texas with the ex-husband coming to get his kid, getting into an argument with the ex-wife, and the current husband shooting him and killing him. And it was legal. Mm-hmm. And gun owners like, well, that was the right thing to do. No, it wasn't the right thing to do. There's no want or need to de-escalate. A lot of these people aren't trained, and guns give you this, this authority all of a sudden where you don't have to de-escalate because I have a gun. And that's irresponsible. And it's unfortunate. I think we're beyond the point of no return, unfortunately, because the political will to do anything definitely is not there. And it's like, where do we go from here?
Yeah, and that's the disappointing thing, Lamar. Thanks for the call. Both the callers, I think, nailed it. We are probably past the point of no return. I'm not real happy about that. And I would think, and this is why I posed that question earlier in the show, and I said it was marijuana, but gun violence is the national one. Yes, abortion, I understand. That will get sorted out at some point, because even the most conservative people that I know have realized that that's a dead issue for Republicans or conservatives. They can be extreme or they can be my way or the highway, but you will not win any political argument, and you certainly won't win an election. But beyond that, gun violence is the issue. It is dangerous out there, and people are making simple mistakes, and it's costing them their lives. Bob joins us from Waukesha. Welcome to the show, Bob. Good morning.
This is the Bob from Waukesha.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Yeah, because we have a couple now.
Yeah, and I haven't called in a while. Steve, I think this is beyond repair. I don't think we're going to fix this, and certainly at least in our generation. I think that it harkens back, at least in part, to the lack of interpersonal skills, the ability to chat with people. It's reached the point that it's horrific. It's terrible. And if you're truly one who respects life, then live it. Don't just talk it.
Yeah, I love that message, Bob. The real Bob from Waukesha. Look, why does this matter? I'll take a break and I'll give you the political ramifications of what's going to come. Because I hear it all the time. You can be, I don't want any restrictions. You're going to lose that argument politically at some point in the near to mid-future. Let's put it that way. You're going to lose that argument because the demographics don't suggest, the political leanings don't suggest it's a winnable argument. But then again, that's going to put us in a situation where we have even more conflict, given where we're at right now. Rich is on the line. We'll get to him. He's calling from Illinois. You can join us, 855-616-1620 on WTMJ.
You're listening to the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ. Every hour.
$1 billion investment by Microsoft is set to move forward in Racine County.
Every day.
A multi-million-dollar settlement reached after Dominion Voting Systems sued Fox News for defamation.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
Common Council President Jose Perez celebrating a full council with 3 new members being sworn in.
The WTMJ Breaking News Center has you covered.
15 members present. I've been waiting a long time to say that.
Hey! News Radio WTMJ.
Welcome to our Everyday Health feature sponsored by the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. We all know that seeing your doctor when you're not feeling well or for regular checkups is important, but what about care specifically for your heart? Here to talk about risk factors for heart disease and when you might want to consider seeing a heart doctor is Dr. Laura Beecher, a cardiologist at the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin. First of all, Dr. Beecher, thanks for being here. Doctor, I assume that this is one of these areas where delay is not necessarily advisable. If somebody has some concerns or something, they should really get in and get the situation assessed, correct?
Correct. Heart disease is one of those things that is very treatable, but definitely need to be assessed and treated appropriately. So yeah, waiting is typically not recommended if you're having issues.
Doctor, we talk a lot about the team approach at the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin. Why should someone choose the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin's cardiology team?
Sure. We have a large cardiology practice with both general providers and very specifically trained subspecialists within cardiology. We provide care throughout southeastern Wisconsin, so you can receive care close to home or work, and we have the most advanced and up-to-date diagnostic and treatment options available to patients. Surgical and non-surgical treatments are options, and it's a really great team of physicians and other providers that work well with your primary care provider and any other specialties that are needed.
Doctor, there's also advantages to being an academic health network, right?
Correct, yeah. At an academic health network, our providers are involved in research that aims to bring the newest, most sophisticated treatment options available to patients.
Dr. Beecher, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Find a doctor who's right for you by visiting freighter.com/heart or calling 414-777-7700.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a 6-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
Now, more of the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Is it self-defense, stand your ground, castle doctrine? I would say in some of the recent events, shooting incidents across the country, none of those apply. Overreaction, overuse of really dangerous firepower. Let's go to Rich calling from Illinois. Hey, Rich, welcome to the show. Good morning on WTMJ.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
I'm good.
I hope I didn't miss the gist of the topic. I got on kind of late, but I want to kind of touch on 99% of the people who own guns. I don't think if they actually use the Second Amendment as a reason to have one, don't really understand the Second Amendment. If I'm correct in it being the right to own and bear guns, if you're a member of a well-organized militia. So maybe I'm off topic, and if I am, I apologize.
No, I mean, that's what we're really talking about. The implications of the Second Amendment, it's not that many words. I think it's 14 or something like that. Well-regulated militias, certainly 3 of those. But we've taken that and we've interpreted state by state into a myriad of different interpretations that, frankly, I think have made us more dangerous and some gun owners less responsible.
No, I totally agree.
Thanks for the call, Rich. We're going to stay on the topic. Got a lot of callers, lots of texts on the old National Bank Talk and Text line. You could join us, 855-616-1620. Don't forget, coming up a little bit later in the show, Mine Shaft Restaurant, our great Thursday sponsors of That's What Steve Said. $30 gift card up for grabs for a lucky winner today. 5 questions pulled right from the things I say on the show. 2 lucky contestants will go head-to-head. Of course, the Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh along Highway 41. Our news time is 10:30 from our breaking news center, Mr. Eric Bilstead.
Thank you, sir. Let's talk about weed. Marijuana legalization being pushed again in Madison. A Democratic state senator is going to host a news conference today and then also travel across the state promoting legalizing marijuana across Wisconsin. There are Republicans open to medicinal marijuana legislation, although nothing is imminent. Hunter Biden is being investigated, one of them involving his taxes. Now, charges have not materialized. However, we may hear from a whistleblower regarding President Joe Biden's son, Hunter. We are going to hear eventually from an IRS agent who apparently knows details of Hunter Biden getting preferential treatment from the White House and from the DOJ. That, according to his lawyer, that whistleblower is looking for protections before spilling the beans. And SpaceX giant new rocket blasted off on its first test flight earlier this morning and exploded minutes after leaving the launch pad. The company was aiming to send the rocket on a round-the-world trip from the southern tip of Texas near the Mexican border. It did carry no people or satellites, and they're downplaying the self-detonation today. Time now for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Right now, the Dow is down 93 to 33,803. The NASDAQ is down 63 to 12,093. And the S&P is down 20 to 4133. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. Checking your roads now with your Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. 94 eastbound, Highway 16, through the zoo and into the city. So far, so good this morning. You shouldn't have much trouble getting into downtown. That's a 17-minute ride. 4145 southbound, Highway Q to the zoo. On time, looking fine right now, 15 minutes. 43 southbound Brown Deer Road into downtown, no problem there, although you are going to see some slowdown south of Good Hope, so be prepared for that. Right now it's maybe a 3 or 4 minute delay in that stretch, but that's ebbing and flowing. 94 northbound from Layton into the Marquette, no problem, 7 minutes.
Traffic is sponsored by Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top-quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Showers and storms expected again later this morning, then again later on today, a high of 65. Tonight, showers ending mostly cloudy, a low of 41. For Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 58. Saturday, cloudy and cooler, a high of 48. Sunday, cool, a high of 46. Monday, sunny, a high of 50. Right now in Milwaukee, 52 degrees. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
Explore Milwaukee's iconic Harley-Davidson Museum this spring. The Harley-Davidson Museum campus boasts one-of-a-kind shopping with exclusive Harley gear from 2 new retail stores, an interactive experience gallery, and the Motor Bar and Restaurant. Riverfront dining with daily specials like fish fries and barbecue. And make it a point to ride over on May 4th for Bike Night, where you can stock up with up to 70% off on deals from their factory shop. The Harley-Davidson Museum, 15 years as one of Milwaukee's top tourist destinations.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, especially during our great outdoor event. Right now, get unbeatable deals on a variety of outdoor essentials, like $70 off a Lifetime Tamarack Pro sit-on-top kayak. Rewards members save an extra $20. Assorted Raider Power Sport helmets and accessories, 10% off. And all Cooper tires are on sale, with up to $75 in consumer rebates and an extra $50 instant savings when you buy 4. Shop our new Blaine's Farm and Fleet store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
With so much confusion in our world, I trust Catholic schools because they partner with us parents, and what they're teaching is in line with our values. Every day starts with prayer, and the focus on faith is shaping their character and helping prepare my kids for life, giving them the conviction to do what's right. My kids are getting a great education at Catholic schools, and I encourage your family to join us.
Catholic schools. Be a part of something greater. Find a Catholic school near you at archmill.org/greater.
You know, it feels good when I find something really cool and get a great deal on it. But it feels even better when I know that the money I spend actually goes directly to helping others. That's why I shop at St. Vincent de Paul, because I always find the best bargains, and the money I spend stays in Milwaukee County to help fight hunger and eliminate poverty. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton in Greenfield and 23rd in Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Now, more of the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Going to stay on this topic for a little bit more. We're going to get to Scafidiology in a second. Interesting. It's about conspiracy theories. Something I've pointed out for many years on this show. I used to be the only person that pointed that out, and surprise, surprise, more people coming over to my side. Let's see. Bill joins us from Lamira, Wisconsin. Hey, Bill. Welcome to the show.
Yes. Good morning, Steve. I'm a long-time listener.
Appreciate it.
First-time caller.
Thank you.
I kind of look at it, a little bit different point of view. This week we've had, unfortunately, 2 young adults, a teenager shot, a young female shot going into a wrong driveway. But
yes.
I look at it as we had nothing was really mentioned on the news about the young lady that was shot in the driveway, but we had President Joe Biden.
Well, I mean, she was killed. I mean, what else? What else do you want us to mention?
Yeah, I know, but then we had President Joe Biden in the White House making statements and calling the family and making political statements. I just wondering, why one or not the other. And
well, let me ask you this, Bill. Are you a gun owner first?
Yes.
Are you a gun owner?
Yes.
Okay, so as am I. And I'm guessing that you're probably a strong supporter of the Second Amendment, as am I. In situations like this, should the president or leaders of Congress, should they just stay out of it and let the facts fall where they may? That sounds kind of like what you're saying. And I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that, because I don't know that politicians are going to be helpful here.
Well, no, I think they should get involved. I see it as one is political, one is not. One was addressed in the mainstream media, and the other one, it was it's kind of put behind on the back burner. So I don't understand it, but
let's take the politics out of it.
One was a little political, and
let's take the politics out, Bill. As a responsible gun owner, which I'm pretty sure you are, what do we do about this? Because I know that a lot of people say, well, the media is just focusing on that stuff. These are stories that shouldn't happen. The number of girls who are pulling into the wrong driveway that get shot, the right answer on that is 0. Doesn't mean accidents aren't going to happen. Yeah. This wasn't an accident. This was a guy who shot at a car just because it pulled in the wrong driveway.
I understand that. I can't argue with you on that one.
Thanks for the call, Bill. Look, I appreciate what Bill's trying to say. And I'm probably one who has fallen into that camp more than anybody. Politicians and politics have ruined civil discourse. I know that's a big statement, but it's true. To the point where legislatures, Congress, they can't anymore have real conversations about whatever the issue is. Take guns away, border policy, economics, taxes, whatever. It has to be political. And because we've allowed that, we've put those people in place here in Wisconsin, where I'm broadcasting from, or wherever you are in your state, or in the halls of Congress. We've allowed that to happen. So that, as much as people say, you bash politicians too much, that's the reality, folks. That's why we don't get resolutions on problems. We get constant back and forth and constant bickering. Those aren't solutions. Talking about things are not solutions. Writing press releases, not solutions. Pretending to go on a radio show and bashing the other side is not a solution to a problem. I'm strictly pointing out that in this current climate, we are seeing an escalation of shoot first, ask questions later. That is dangerous. A young man shouldn't have been shot going up to someone's door because he was in the wrong place looking for his younger brother. A young woman shouldn't have been shot as a passenger in a car because they pulled into the wrong driveway. Young girls in Austin, Texas shouldn't have been shot at because they got in the wrong car by accident. None of those things are normal reactions. They should not be excused. Those individuals should be charged and prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And if that's tough love, don't care. It has to stop. Will it stop? I don't know. Mike from Illinois, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I am passionate about this issue.
I see, as well you should be. I don't know if this is correct, but I think that other caller may have been alluding to the fact that Joe Biden called the family of the black teen that got shot.
Correct,
He didn't say anything about the thing in the driveway. Obviously, all those situations are bad. Makes no sense at all. But I don't think we're past the point of no return. I think change is slow. It happens through voting. It happens through public awareness. It just takes a while. And, guns have been a part of this country since the beginning. And I do believe in the Second Amendment, but it's obviously gone past that point, and it takes time to go back.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Look, I agree with everything Mike just said. Cooler heads must prevail. Easy said, hard to do. Because at this moment, there are elected officials here and elsewhere, wherever you live, in Washington, in Wisconsin, in Madison, who are not engaged in real conversation. They're not interested in that. It's what we think, what I think. The rest of you, you're crazy, you're nuts. On both sides. I didn't get a chance to get to it today. Maybe I will later in the show about the changes for penalties for reckless driving. There was like 2 members of the House, or the Assembly rather, that voted against it. My question is, why? It was nearly unanimous. 2 people on stiffer penalties for people that are literally killing people every day in the streets of Milwaukee and elsewhere. 2 people voted against it. Why? Makes no sense. After the break, Scaffediology on conspiracy theorists and the like after this.
You're listening to the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
You might not think of Burkhart for corporate uniforms and other business apparel, but you should, because a lot of businesses do. And it's because most times we're cheaper than our competition on the same high-quality apparel choices that the other guys offer, plus Nike and Under Armour that the other guys can't get. So for businesses and corporations, if you want your employees to look great while representing your brand, and you want to get your apparel for less, you can't beat Burkhart, your business uniform specialists.
You can't beat Burkhart.
The task of lining up your group apparel sales can take up a lot of your time, but Burkhart Sporting Goods can make it so easy. The group sale web stores that we provide our customers at no charge to line up their team or corporate apparel sales is a simple way of gathering all the info you need. It's easy to work, easy to understand, and with it, you'll have access to nearly limitless options. This is Brian Burkhart with Burkhart Sporting Goods. Give us a call and let us show you just how easy group apparel sales can be.
You can't beat Burkhart.
Hey, this is WTMJ, Steve's Committee for Advent. I've told you about the tossing and turning, the restless nights of sleep, snoring, all of that. Most of it gone. And I had that every night, restless nights of sleep. You don't want that. And sometimes it's even grouchy because of that. That's no more. I went to Advent, one of the great facilities, talked to their docs, 30-minute visit, put me at ease, and put me on the path to having awesome nights of sleep. We added in a little sleep study at home in my own bed. They determined the problem, sinuses, nasal passages, breathing triangle. Short procedure done in office, 30 minutes, back to breathing well, sleeping through the whole night. My wife and I are both happy about that. If you struggle like I did with restless nights, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to AdventKnows.com. AdventKnows.com. Schedule an appointment today because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Earn points every time you shop with Fleet Rewards. 500 points gets you a $5 reward. It's free and easy to sign up, in-store or online. Sign up today and start saving with Fleet Rewards at Fleet Farm.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert back to report even more home buyers paid over the asking price last month, rising to 50% in the 5-county metro area. 3 out of 10 paid $10,000 or more above that list price. The good news is appraised values are generally keeping up with the over-asking offers. Still, the most powerful thing a buyer can do to make their offer the most attractive in a multiple offer situation is to give the seller some appraisal wiggle room. Telling the seller you're willing to pay over the asking price, even if the house appraises lower, sounds scary because most buyers think they have to fill that potential gap with more down payment. But in the vast majority of cases, AccuNet is showing home buyers how they can offer appraisal wiggle room without bringing a nickel more to closing. Appraisal wiggle room is like a good card trick. You need to see it to believe it. So if you're home shopping with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, upgrade today to an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Good morning, class. Class.
Thank you, Sister Mary Elephants. Of course, the brilliant Cheech and Chong. I know they still do stuff, but in their era, they were just the best. All right, so I was thinking about this last night. You know, just a little behind-the-scenes stuff. I typically have the next day's show like sketched out by late afternoon, early evening, but for some reason I was scrolling through some websites that I like. One of those is studyfinds.org. And one of the stories that caught my eye, and I'm moving my mic as I talk, so apologize for that, was one that had to do with conspiracy theory and how we tend to accept what people say. And there's growing research, there's a reason for that. And that reason just might be, it's a desire to fit in, to be part of something. Now, I've said before on this show, we have gotten lazy intellectually. Too many people, way too many people, focus on the wrong things. Because one person said it, one elected official said it, a group of people online that you follow that are more likely than not all of the same mind on one topic, say it out loud. Give an example. and this is not to bash the senior senator from Wisconsin, but he spends a lot of his time talking about vax injuries. No, I'm not going to sit here and tell you there aren't vax injuries. Nothing's perfect, including vaccines. But to ignore the fact that vaccines have saved millions of lives, millions and millions of people from serious illness, debilitating physical ailments. It's sort of like missing the headline. And then one, I guess, has to ask the question, why are they doing that? And the answer is simply this, and that's just one example. You could talk about election conspiracies and all the other stuff that's swirling around still. Hunter Biden, what's real, what's not real? Trump kids, did they make money illegally or not? All those things. All swirling around in this soup of internet nonsense. And the reason the study suggests that we do this is because we want to fit in with our group. Think about it. You're at a party. Let's say a block party in a very conservative rural part of the state. Pick a place. Rhinelander, Wisconsin. Eagle River, Wisconsin. That Eagle River might not be a great example because there's a lot of people that are from other places that go there. But Toma, Wisconsin. Pick one. You're at a block party. And the subject of election conspiracy comes up. And this is not breaking news, but probably more than likely, a lot of those voters and residents of those areas are going to be conservative. You want to be the guy that shakes everybody up by saying, I think this stuff's nuts, all this election conspiracy stuff. It's all made up. I think the people are just mad because Trump lost. You want to be that person? There's this desire to either shut up or play along that has driven all of these conspiracy theories, made them more rabid than they need to be. And because I often like to get to a homework piece of this, since we're talking about something called scriptology. And this is not easy to do, trust me. Two things. Read or watch a source you typically don't watch. I don't care what it is. If you're left-leaning, watch the conservative one, and the opposite if you're a conservative. Every day. I actually benefit from watching both MSNBC and Fox because I see what they're talking about. I see what news stories they highlight. In my earlier days on this show, I used to write down on their lead news hours what their topics were in order from top to bottom for like at least 8 of them, just to see how they matched up, how they didn't match up, and if those were things I thought would be something we could address. The differences. The nuance between how they approached Hunter Biden here versus there. I imagine the Hunter Biden IRS agent story got a huge play on Fox yesterday. I would imagine on CNN or I know it was on CNN because I watched I think Jake Tapper in the afternoon. They were talking about it, but not as much. Didn't watch MSNBC last night, but I'm sure they probably. I don't want to say they ignored it, but they probably didn't cover it with the attention and detail that Fox did. So homework. Watch or read a source you typically don't watch or read. You pick. Number 2, start thinking about things other than the one way you think about them. And guns is the perfect one. One of the reasons I brought that topic up earlier is we are at this moment with gun rights. And I'm going to I have some guests coming up in the next few weeks that are strong advocates of the Second Amendment. Real life, big time lobbyists. And we're going to ask them the same questions we ask somebody who's pushing against all of that. What are we doing here? The real life implication of not listening is that things you hold sacred in the future will be taken away legally with legislation. And save the text. You're not taking away. I'm not saying that. Restrictions, calibrations, allowances for things like ammunition, what types of guns. All of these things will be subject to more intense scrutiny if we all don't get our act together. That's what I'm saying. That's why this stuff matters. and this is not a direct example, but again, it's a clear one. You don't think I'm right on this? Look at the issue of abortion in Wisconsin, which is where I'm broadcasting from, or where you are. Maybe it's not the same, maybe it is. We have hardcore, hardline, ultra-right conservatives saying, we probably have to have a more reasonable posture on abortion. Who in the world thought that would happen? But you know what? Elections have consequences. And elections will shift the mindset of elected officials. And if it happened on abortion, and it is happening on abortion, trust me, it'll happen on guns. It'll happen on everything. That's why this stuff matters. I understand why there's conspiracy theories. There's always has been. But if you're looking at this issue smartly from a political perspective or just from a cultural perspective, if you don't pay attention, the rules will change. The rules of engagement will change, folks. How we react and what we do about it, that's up to you. That is this week's Scafediology.
Hey, I'm John Merkier.
And I'm Sandy Max.
Great news for fans of Wisconsin's afternoon news.
You can now hear every episode of the show across the podcast universe.
That's right. You'll never have to miss a single interview, story, or fun conversation.
You're not giving in to the process.
Yeah, you're done? You're done.
Well, I was hoping somebody would try and slide a little food. There's a little slot here underneath the door, some cold cuts, pretty thin.
Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you ready for retirement? I'm Tony Drake, founder of Drake & Associates. My new book, Get Retirement Ready, can help make retiring easier. In it, I discuss a well-thought-out financial plan and how that makes the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, like planning for health care, leaving a legacy for your loved ones, and being as tax efficient as possible, and much more. Call or text BOOK to 414-404-4994 for your free copy and a bonus retirement ready toolkit from Drake & Associates that includes helpful guides on taxes, Social Security, healthcare, and much more. Call or text BOOK to 414-404-4994.
Investment advisory services provided by Drake & Associates, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products are offered through a separate company, Law Financial Group, LLC. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply any level of skill or training.
For your new roof, we'll give you the hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty in the industry. You can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Wisconsin weather can put a damper on things, but don't let it ruin your outdoor plans. Sister Bay Furniture is furniture built in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Built from premium, sustainable materials, Sister Bay Furniture endures the grueling conditions of Wisconsin weather. That's commercial-grade quality for your outdoor space. Stop by their showroom today, located out in Sussex on Executive Drive, or visit their website today at sisterbayfurniture.com. Sister Bay Furniture, built in Wisconsin for Wisconsin.
Hi, it's Rose Gray from Fox World Travel. Our travel advisors can help you travel anywhere in the world. Whether you're looking for a group tour or prefer to customize your own unique experience, we have the expertise to craft your next extraordinary journey, including some amazing options from our partners, Delta Vacations, Holland America Line, and Uniworld Boutique River Cruises, just to name a few. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. There are memories to be made this summer, and Fox will get you there.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
Now, more of the Steve Scafidi Show.
Texter asked me which senators voted against the increased penalties for, excuse me there, for reckless driving. That was Hesselbein and Larson. And I've been furiously scanning the... they're both Democrats. Diane Hesselbein, Democrat from Middleton, was one. And then I believe the other one was Chris Larson from Milwaukee. And I have not found the reasons that they used to go against it, but I will reach out if I can and try to find out that information for you. We need two callers. Coming up after the top of the hour news here, we're going to play a little something called That's What Steve Said. Thanks to the great folks at Mine Chef Restaurant who provide a great meal opportunity at one of their great restaurants. Beautiful downtown Hartford or beautiful downtown Oshkosh. I shouldn't say downtown Oshkosh, on Highway 41 in Oshkosh. Mine Chef Restaurant. And today, great coincidence, is buy one pizza, get second pizza free. And they have fantastic pizza. So the winner will get a $30 gift card to the Hartford location for said restaurant. That's coming up. So I need 2 callers. 855-616-1620. 5 questions. These are really good ones today. And if you listen to the show this week, we could see someone get all 5. Now, people often send me texts during the competition. I got all 5. Well, then prove it and call. Because the record is 4. And that's well done if you get 4. 855-616-1620. 2 callers. Opportunity to win a Mine Chef gift card. Fantastic, locally owned restaurant. Been doing it for a long time. We will tee that one up after the news, which is next on WTMJ.
You're listening to the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
All Brewers games are on sale now, including a marquee weekend matchup versus the Red Sox April 21st through the 23rd. Get the one-of-a-kind Yelly Tumbler Gate giveaway on Saturday, presented by American Family Insurance. And treat your crew to Brewers Family Fun on Sunday with special activities for kids, including Brewers player autographs and a chance to run the bases. Get your seats now at Brewers.com.
Siding Unlimited and Outdoor Living Unlimited share a unique outside-in showroom and an open house this Saturday from 9 to 1. Find it at 665 Larry Court, Waukesha. SidingUnlimited.com.
We're Ted and Pam, owners of Church and Chapel Funeral Homes here in town.
Our family, serving your family.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
You've heard about Purple mattresses. Try it before you buy it at Steinhoffel's.
Your hometown hub for everything that matters. The latest news, traffic, weather, and sports on Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 11 o'clock, it is 55 degrees. The high today, 68, with storms rolling through. We're watching the radar. Some rain now making its way to Madison and to Janesville, headed this direction. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Eric Bilstad. The Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission is set to vote tonight on set standards for the release of body cam footage for officers.
The department will have 48 hours to release it to the family of the person involved in a critical incident and 15 days before it would have to become public under the current proposal. Defense attorney Julius Kim tells WTMJ it's a tough timeline given all the factors involved.
There has to be a balance struck between all of these competing interests, the interests of the family, the general public, law enforcement, the officers that are involved.
Kim says he favors the third part of the proposal that would allow MPD to request an extension of the public release.
The number one priority in these situations, in my mind, is that the investigation is done thoroughly and well.
Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
A former Wisconsin Parole Commission chairman and recent Racine alderman is now charged with a felony. John Tate is accused of using his position as a public official for private interests. The criminal complaint says Tate used his position as Common Council president to create a new position in Racine's city government. 3 months after that position was created, Tate applied, became a finalist, negotiated a higher pay, and then accepted the job himself. Prosecutors argued that he was acting on behalf of his own interests. If convicted, he's looking at more than 3 years in prison. The Port of Milwaukee is gearing up for a record cruise season.
City leaders tell me they expect to see almost 40 cruise ship stops in Milwaukee this year. That would top 2022's record year when 8 different ships brought tourists here on 33 different dates. Those ships included the 665-foot Viking Octantis, which is the largest cruise ship on the Great Lakes. And it's not just about money poured into the economy during excursions. It's also about raising awareness in Milwaukee's profile for hopeful future travel plans. John Merkier, WTMJ News.
SpaceX calls it a rapid, unplanned disassembly. In other words, the company's rocket exploded this morning.
With the whole SpaceX team, including founder Elon Musk, watching from company headquarters in California, the liftoff of the world's largest rocket appeared flawless. It climbed to 23 miles over the Texas coast, but before the first stage could separate from the capsule, something went wrong.
This does not appear to be a nominal situation.
4 minutes after liftoff, the whole assembly either blew up or was blown up by ground controllers. But because the rocket cleared the launch pad at all, SpaceX is calling this a successful test. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Sports, traffic, and weather next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:03.
Explore Milwaukee's iconic Harley-Davidson Museum this spring. The Harley-Davidson Museum campus boasts one-of-a-kind shopping with exclusive Harley gear from 2 new retail stores, an interactive experience gallery, and the Motor Bar and Restaurant. Riverfront dining with daily specials like fish fries and barbecue. And make it a point to ride over on May 4th for Bike Night, where you can stock up with up to 70% off on deals from their factory shop. The Harley-Davidson Museum, 15 years as one of Milwaukee's top tourist destinations.
Old National Bank is asking businesses to get old. But first, they have questions.
Who runs my business if I get old?
You do. You can get old and remain young.
Is that possible?
With a commercial bank as good as Old National, yes.
What will it feel like to get old?
Well, business owners describe a feeling of euphoria, having local decision-making and committed relationship bankers.
Okay, one old guy coming up.
Introducing Old National Bank, where business relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC.
Mark Tosher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Well, are you ready for a new shower? If you are, Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for over 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit kswisconsin.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
It's time to upgrade that old patio furniture with By the Yard maintenance-free outdoor furniture. By the Yard furniture features no painting, no rotting, no splinters, no storage ever. With over 400 items in 9 UV-stabilized colors, By the Yard is proudly made in the Midwest and backed by a 35-year warranty. Explore By the Yard's outdoor furniture collection at their showroom location in Mayfair Mall, Wauwatosa, or visit bytheyard.net. That's bytheyard.net.
Behind a go-ahead RBI single in the 7th inning off the bat of Bryce Terrain, the Milwaukee Brewers completed the series sweep of Seattle, defeating the Mariners by a final of 5-3 on Wednesday afternoon. The Brew Crew finished their 10-game West Coast road trip with an impressive 7-3 record. The 14-5 Brewers get an off day today. They are back at it Friday in Milwaukee, playing host to the Boston Red Sox to open up a 3-game series. No Giannis, no problem for the Bucks as they pulled off a record-setting performance in a 138-122 win over the Miami Heat in Game 2 of their best-of-7 playoff series. Brook Lopez led the team with 25 points and Drew Holiday added 24. Tied at a game apiece, the series now moves down to Miami for games 3 and 4. Game 3 will be played on Saturday night. Giannis will travel with the team, but it is unclear if he will suit up and play. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
From the Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Center, 94 eastbound, Highway 16. All the way into the city right now is looking good. You shouldn't have any issue getting in. That's a 17-minute ride. 4145 South, Highway Q to the Zoo is on time. 43 southbound, no issues from Brown Deer Road into downtown. That is looking good. And 94 northbound from Layton into the Marquette. 7-minute trip.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores, Highway 100 and Layton Avenue, 23rd and Lincoln. Great stores, great cause, and unbelievable bargains. You're going to love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Watching the radar for another cell of rain, another rainstorm rolling through the area, headed toward Madison now, and it should be here within the next few hours. We expect another round of storms later on today as well. The high 65. Tonight, the rain will end. Cloudy, a low of 41. Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 58. Saturday, cloudy and cooler. The high on Saturday, 48. Sunday, the high is 46. Monday, sunny, a high of 50. Right now, in Madison, it's 56 degrees, Green Bay 58, Waukesha 63, and in Milwaukee 55. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:07.
breaking down the biggest stories, talking about what really matters, and bringing you the biggest forum to let your voice be heard. Now, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue, here's Steve Scafidi.
Welcome. 11 o'clock. I'm having a side conversation. I was very amped up. All right, so every Thursday, thanks to the Mine Shaft Restaurant, beautiful downtown Hartford, and along Highway 41 in Oshkosh, we do this as I'm watching my callers just dropping off the screen. So I'll explain it, and then, all right, so I'm not going to say the names because the names are changing constantly. So when we have our set of callers, we'll figure it out. Maybe are we having phone line issues? Is that what's going on? Whatever. So I asked 5 questions, and they're based on things I actually say. All right, so we got Beth back, so Beth's good. So do we have our 2 callers? All right. We have Beth from Milwaukee, Matt from Belgium, not the country of Belgium, the city of Belgium. All right. I see the other people are still calling. We do 5 questions. There are things I actually said on the show. There's 3 possible answers for each question. And you pick, you being the contestants, one of the 3 answers, and whoever does best wins a $30 gift card from the Mine Shaft. This is a long way to get to it. So let's kick it off with, we have the formal, let's kick it off with the formal introduction.
It's time to talk about the topics that were big.
That's what she said. Ha, I don't get it.
It's time to talk about the topics that were hard.
That's what she said. Or he said.
It's time to talk about the topics that had us saying...
That's what she said.
It's time for...
That's what she said.
No, it's time for That's What Steve Said.
Let's just say it to lighten the tension when things sort of get hard.
Thank you, Steve Carell. Talking about hard, we were scrambling there. People dropping off like crazy. But now we have our 2 contestants. Let's first up meet Beth from Milwaukee. Good morning, Beth.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm
ready to play this game. I hear it all the time, but I've never played it on the air.
We're going to find out how good you are. How have you done off the air?
I've done pretty good, actually.
Now all the pressure's on you because you just made that statement. Beth from Milwaukee, tell us about yourself in 30 seconds or less.
I am in sales for a local funeral home. Love my job, love my family, love my dog.
What's your dog's name?
Gracie.
Gracie, what kind of dog?
She's a mini dachshund.
Love that. Well, somebody tell me it was National Pet Day. Was that yesterday, today? Somebody was saying something about that. So enjoy your little Gracie.
Yeah, it was
yesterday?
Thank you.
All right, Beth, so hang on the line. Let's meet Matt from Belgium, not the country of Belgium, I'm assuming. Hey, Matt.
Hey, how you doing?
Are you a dog owner, pet owner?
Yes, I have a 4.5-year-old husky named Lucy.
Lucy! Those are great-looking dogs.
Lucy.
Love those dogs.
She was a rescue dog. They called her Lucky.
Lucky
I didn't
Lucy.
think that was a girl name.
Yeah, beautiful.
So I just figured then I can come home and say, hey, Lucy, I'm home.
Lucy, I'm home. Yes, from the old days of I Love Lucy. All right, so Matt, now Beth said she's played at home, the home version. Have you listened and kind of played that version as well from the comfort of your own car or home?
I'd say.
Okay.
I'd say I'm 50-50.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a series of 5 questions, 3 possible answers. Only one is correct, and we're going to actually play what I said. So Beth is first up. Beth and Matt's. Question number 1. The lawsuit by Dominion Voting Systems against the Fox News Network was settled this week in a Delaware courtroom. What did I say was the only way you should look at this case? What did I say was the only way you should look at this case? A, because they were saying something that they knew was patently false, we should all be cheering for Dominion. B, this happens every day in America. The question is when consumers will begin to reject it. Or C, at this point, I think most people are just picking sides and going with whoever agrees with them. Beth, what is the right answer?
I'm going to go with B.
Beth, whose name begins with B, chooses B. Matt, what do you say?
Well, I was going to go with B2.
You can do that, or you can pick a different one.
That's just a guess.
It's a guess?
I'm going to go with B.
B is your final answer?
Yeah.
Both be wrong. Here's what I said. Everyone has bias, left or right. No one is pure of heart, pure of mind. Doesn't exist. But when you go on a broadcast network, cable network, and say things you know absolutely are not true, in my mind, that is defamation. Any other legal term that applies to saying something you know is not fact, patently false. We should all be cheering for Dominion. That's my take. All right, so slow start for Beth and Matt. Matt, you're first up. Question number 2 has to do with shoplifting, a story that a lot of retailers are dealing with right now. And there seems, in my opinion, to be a relaxing of efforts to control it. A lot of high-profile stores of people getting out of stores with lots of merchandise, lots of value. What was my smart take about how to fix it? A, with the threat of violence the way it is now, not sure there's much retailers can do. B, how do we get to this point in time where people think it's okay to load up your cart and just walk out the front door? Or C, someone should be checking your cart with your receipt every time you leave a store. You want to deal with this seriously? That's what's got to happen. Matt, what's the right answer?
I'll go with B.
Matt takes B again. Beth, what's your choice?
And I'm going to agree with Matt and go with B as well.
Okay, guys, this B strategy not working so well. I've had enough of this stuff. I want strict enforcement. And if that means if you're going to have self-checkouts, you've got people monitoring that. And here's what I'm suggesting to retailers, and I know this is going to cost them some money, but you're losing it anyway. Kind of like Sam's Club does. There's somebody checking your cart with your receipt every time you leave. That's what I expect in a grocery store. You want to deal with this seriously?
Boy,
that's what's got to happen. All right, little Carol Kane there, a little extra Carol Kane from our Monday show. All right, slow start for Beth and Matt. Beth, you're first up. Question number 3. If you listen to this show, are you a loyal listener, Beth, would you say?
Yes.
All right, thanks for that, by the way. You know that I like to point out the difference between how I approach politics and how everybody else does it. What did I say about that this week? 3 possible answers, only one is correct. A, for 30-plus years, we've allowed people to go on the radio and TV and espouse nonsense and rally their base. I don't do that, not interested. B, if you put up almost all the popular talking heads in one room, their combined real work experience beyond working a microphone would be equivalent, this is a tough one, would be equivalent to the guy who takes your food order at Wendy's, nothing against Wendy's. Or C, most people think about politics as a competition now. What it should be about is doing the people's work. They're not even close to understanding what real work is. What is the right answer, A, B, or C, Mary, or Beth, rather, from Milwaukee?
I'm going to say C.
Beth says C. Matt, what do you say?
Oh, mix it up and go with A.
Matt says A. Well, there'll be a happier Matt after this answer. The reason we're like this is because for 30-plus years, we have allowed people to go on the radio or TV and espouse nonsense and rally their base, basically trying to own the other side. Those people made a lot of money doing it. You become part of a political team, politics is sports, having political tantrums every day. I don't do that. Not interested, because that doesn't get the work done. That's the difference. That is the difference. And Matt, you have now jumped into the lead with one correct answer. Beth, still work to do. Matt, you're up first on question number 4. Since 2004, I talked about this, I think, on Tuesday. Since 2004, Matt and Beth, the popularity of the 2 major political parties in this country have declined, as independent voters now make up almost 50% of all voters. What did I say was the reason for that shift? 3 possible answers, only one is correct. Matt, is it A, more people are saying I'm going to make my own decisions, I'm not going to suck up to the parties, and I'm not going to believe your stupid talking points? B, even though the blind followers of the major parties still drink the Kool-Aid, more and more voters are saying, yeah, you're crazy. Or C, voters can smell when the food is spoiled and rotten. In this case, the food is the piece of cheese you left in the back of your refrigerator for about a year. Matt, what's the right answer?
I'll say B.
Matt says B. Beth, what's your choice?
I'm saying A.
Beth says A. Ooh, we have a competition, folks. Here it is. Our political parties
are screwed.
And they're destroying the credibility of politics and politicians and elected officials. And that's why more people are saying, you know what? I don't want all the gift wrapping, all the political nonsense. I'm just going to view myself as an independent. I'm going to make my own decisions. I'm not going to suck up to the parties, and I'm not going to believe your stupid talking points. All right, we have a competition, albeit with only one correct answer each. So question number 5, Matt is first up. But order doesn't matter. It's right answers that matter, and we do have a tiebreaker in place if we need it. I think someone's going to pull it out on this one. This one had to do with something I talked about on Monday with Carol. The Bud Light controversy, Anheuser-Busch, now in its second week, as the beer seller has tried to manage a public relations and branding nightmare. What was my reaction to their business decision? 3 answers, only one's right. A, it's beer, people. It's best not to overthink in some lame quest to be woke. B, you got to know your audience, and you got to know your product. And I don't know that Anheuser-Busch Budweiser thought this through. Or C, I don't drink Bud Light, but if someone offered me one, I would probably drink it. Not because I'm woke, because I'm not rude. Matt, what's the right answer?
B.
B as in boy?
Yep.
And Beth?
Oh my God, it's between 2. I'm going to go with B also.
All right. Good choices, both. Here it is. And my take has been, I understand the desire by corporations and companies to be inclusive. That's always the best goal. Trust me. But you also got to know your audience and what your audience wants to hear, right? You can do both things. It's the wants to hear, need to hear argument. Yes, absolutely. I talk about that all the time. But you got to know your audience and you got to know your product. And I don't know that Anheuser-Busch Budweiser thought this through. All right. We have a 2-2 tie. Beth from Milwaukee, Matt from Belgium. Producer Brandon has our all-important tiebreaker. Take it away.
All right, you two. Since you both selected the letter B, we're going to stick with that and have a tiebreaker question that starts with the letter B as well around our Milwaukee Brewers, since 620 WTMJ is home to the Brewers. In what year did the Brewers join the National League?
Beth, first up, what's your guess? No Googling.
Oh, man. What year, huh?
No Googling.
No, I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not. I am so bad with this. 1960.
1960. Matt.
Shot in the dark. I'm going to go with 94.
1994. Brandon, producer, sports guy extraordinaire. What's the right answer?
The right answer is 1998. The Milwaukee Brewers joined the National League from the American League. 1998.
All right. Matt, you are our tiebreaker winner. Beth, thanks for playing. That's what Steve said. And thanks for being a loyal listener as well, Beth from Milwaukee. Matt, you are a winner of a $30 Mind Chef gift card. Awesome restaurant, great pizza. And today, by the way, buy one pizza, get second pizza free. They have a beautiful location in downtown Hartford, also along Highway 41 in Oshkosh. Matt, thank you for playing. That's what Steve said.
Well, thank you, Steve.
All right, and keep listening. Lots to get to. We'll take care of all the business side of That's What Steve Said. Producer Brandon will, and we'll take a break here on WTMJ.
This is the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
You've got questions about your Milwaukee Bucks, and we've got answers. Go behind the curtain with the Athletics' Eric Name.
Teams know, like, hey, you're on national TV. Let's not put out 5 bench guys.
And Bucks play-by-play voice, David Kane.
This is not me complaining about being in Miami right now here in the middle of January, but we could have done with maybe a night game. That wouldn't have been the worst thing.
It's Bucks Insiders, Thursday afternoons at 5:45 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Annex Wealth Management. The inflation battle continues, and the road ahead looks bumpy. It's time to get serious about putting a plan in place for your investment and retirement planning. If you're tired of the sales pitches when it comes to investment and retirement planning, how about a breath of fresh air? Annex Wealth Management is a diverse and talented team that provides guidance with no products to sell. Investment and retirement planning can be complicated. We know that. Annex handles it all. They'll create a plan that factors in Social Security, your pension if you have one, IRAs, 401ks. Let's not forget about taxes. Year-round tax planning is a key factor in the success of your plan, especially now. It's time for a plan built by fiduciaries, not someone selling insurance disguised as financial advice. Annex Wealth Management is ready to build a plan for you. Join me. Go to Annex. Go to annexwealth.com for retirement investment planning, tax planning, estate planning. Know the difference. Starts at annexwealth.com.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, you got to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, shoulder, back. Precision treatments. They're all done in office, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery. Discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine, especially this time of year. We all want to be living life to the fullest, doing the stuff that we love the most. And if you can get lasting relief and avoid going under the knife, well, it makes sense to check it out, right? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Hey, don't wait. 414-285-3474.
Now, more of the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Congrats to our players. Well, more Matt than Beth, but Beth, I like her attitude. She's a loyal listener, a fan of the show, and those are. It's not as easy when you get on the air and you have to do it. It is easier when you're in the privacy of your own car or your own home, and you can just kind of casually say, "Oh, that's B, it's A, it's whatever." But we do it every Thursday, and again, thanks to the folks at Mind Chef, great local restaurant, long time, great local restaurant with their fabulous pizza, and it's a great venue. I mean, if you've never seen it, trust me, you'll enjoy the experience, all the cool stuff. John McCure talks about it all the time, one of his favorite restaurants. And if I live closer, it might be one of my favorite restaurants, but it's certainly one that you want to go check out, especially on Thursdays. Buy one pizza, get a second one free. So enjoy that. We do it every Thursday here on WTMJ. I'm just going to set this one up quickly. I want to spend a little bit of time on it. So one of the things that is sort of part of the budget process is figuring out what the rules are going to be for those of us who live in Wisconsin. And there's a question in the new process that asks a really interesting question. Now, we know that felons shouldn't have guns, right? Here's the question. Should they also be banned from owning vicious dogs? Now, we have to define vicious. And is that a lifetime ban as a felon, or is it once time served, do you get to reestablish? Important questions. I imagine fans of dogs, rescues, probably aren't happy about this, but it's something that's being actively talked about. Should felons own vicious dogs? We'll take another break, and we'll get to that one. You're welcome to join us, 855-616-1620. Something the state's working on. Agree, disagree, after this.
This is the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
The NBA playoffs are finally here.
Drives in on Giannis, puts the shot up, rejected by Giannis on the second jump.
And the quest for a championship starts on Bucks Talk with Justin Garcia.
He's been their best three-point shooter so far. He's just found his niche.
Every series right here. And it starts in round one when the Bucks try to take down the Miami Heat.
Punishing dunk from the Greek Freak. Take that.
You can listen live throughout the playoffs right here on WTMJ.
When big national banks make a decision, it requires many emails, phone calls, and plenty of video conferences from around the globe. When we make a banking decision, we do it over a cup of coffee in our office. Finding a local bank that's passionate about the community and knows your name is hard to find these days.
Good morning, Diane. Welcome back.
The search is over.
Waterstone Bank, proud to be your local bank for over 100 years. Love your bank as much as we love this community. Waterstone Bank, Waukesha, Milwaukee, and Washington County.
Member FDIC.
Say cheese. Whether you like it with tomato soup or with bacon on sourdough, the cheese stands alone. The 10th Annual Wisconsin Grilled Cheese Championship returns on Saturday, April 29th at the Lye Memorial Pavilion at Harris Park in Dodgeville, Wisconsin. General admission is free. VIP tickets are $30 and will be available at the door. VIP tickets include a sandwich, drink, soup, and a goodie bag. Visit the Wisconsin Grilled Cheese Championship Facebook page for more information. It's the Wisconsin Grilled Cheese Championship on Saturday, April 29th in Dodgeville, Wisconsin.
To be the best, you have to beat the best. And in order to beat the best, you have to compete with the best. And I'll tell you what, playing with the best equipment doesn't hurt either, especially when it comes to baseball and softball. We truly believe that. And that's why Burkhart Sporting Goods stocks the Midwest's largest selection of the finest baseball and softball equipment. More bats, more gloves, and more equipment from all the best names. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhart. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhart, where you'll find a great selection of shoes and court gear. But what's going to turn you into the next big thing on the court is practice. And there's no better place to do it than on your own court. Having your own hoop is an absolute must to hone your shot. And we'll help you get there with a great selection of basketball hoops and accessories. This is Brian Burkhart, and I promise you, when you love basketball like we do, you can't beat Burkhart.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Stop into Ken Michaels Furniture for our sale on Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is an American icon in quality leather upholstery. Whether you're looking for power recliners or stationary seating, BY's Furniture is made with enduring quality, outstanding comfort, and timeless styling. Save 35% now on Bradington Young upholstery at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield and Greenfield. Visit us today.
This is the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
All right, I'm going to tee this one up for after the bottom of the hour news with Eric Bilstead. So it's a bill that's been proposed before, and I was digging during the break there. State Senator Andre Jacques from De Pere, Wisconsin, just sort of the Green Bay area, has been talking about for a few years. And it's basically saying that we should ban felons, convicted felons, from owning vicious dogs. Now, this is the problem with some of this stuff. It doesn't define a certain breed of dog, but it calls for police, law enforcement to kind of weigh the behavior of the dog and determine whether or not it's vicious. So I get the idea, but you're also making more work for law enforcement, and I would argue that they already have plenty to do. And making judgment calls, they have enough of those to make. So I went back and looked at an earlier story, and this one went back to earlier this year, January. And the senator, Andre Jacques, said, you're talking about, this is a quote, you're talking about putting a weapon in the hands of someone who is not supposed to have access to it. Unfortunately, there's a significant problem of animals being used for such unlawful activity as dogfighting, guard dogs for narcotics trafficking and other illegal activity, and as tools for intimidation. And there have been a substantial number of cases where officers have been attacked and injured by animals trained to be vicious when attempting to make arrests and investigate crimes by violent offenders. Only applies to felons and felonies related to homicide, battery, sexual assaults, or controlled substances. And we know that felons found, at least according to the bill, could face up to $10,000 in fines and 6 years in prison. Introduced in 2015, went nowhere. 2021, went nowhere, but is now in front of the full legislature again. 855-616-1620. We know about guns. Felons shouldn't have them. What about vicious dogs as defined by law enforcement? Not a breed, as defined by law enforcement. Your chance to weigh in after the news. It's 11:31 rather. From our Breaking News Center, Eric Bilstead.
Happy 420 day to you, Steve, and we may see movement. After years of opposition to any form of marijuana legalization in the state, Republican lawmakers are now working privately to build support for a medical cannabis program that could win bipartisan backing and be enacted into law later this year. That, according to Assembly Speaker Robin Vos in an interview he conducted with the Associated Press today. For now, the group of lawmakers that are looking into this, Vos has declined to name them. He says they're working only among Assembly Republicans to build enough support. He hopes to introduce a plan this fall. Vos has long backed some form of medicinal marijuana, but no bill has ever received a vote in either the GOP-controlled Assembly or the Senate. The Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission will consider a measure tonight that would require MPD to release body cams of critical incidents within 15 days. And SpaceX's giant new rocket exploded minutes after blasting off on its first test flight and crashed into the Gulf of Mexico this morning. The company owned by Elon Musk was aiming to send the nearly 400-foot Starship rocket on a round-the-world trip. It did not make it. It launched from the tip of Texas. It carried no people or satellites. Time now for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Right now, the Dow is down 73 to 33,823. The NASDAQ is down 43 to 12,113. And the S&P is down 16 to 4138. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. Checking the roads now. Your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. 94 eastbound, Highway 16. Through the zoo and into the city. So far, you're getting in just fine. Shouldn't have any issues into downtown. That's going to take you about 17 or 18 minutes. 4145 southbound, Highway Q to the zoo. There's a disabled vehicle near Appleton Avenue. Just got to be mindful of that. It's off to the side of the road, but it shouldn't cause you too much trouble heading southbound. Heads up northbound. We are seeing some slowdowns right around Hampton in that stretch there, so be careful there heading north. 43 southbound looks fine. Brown Deer Road into the city. That'll take you to Standard 12, and 94 northbound also clear from Layton into the Marquette. That is a 7-minute trip.
Traffic is sponsored by Hiller Ford, a family-owned dealership on Highway 100 in Franklin.
Hiller Ford wants to buy your old car or truck. Whether you trade it in or not, Hiller Ford will pay top dollar for it. Come in with your old car and walk out with a check.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Showers and storms likely still today. We had that first round earlier this morning. Another round making its way into southeast Wisconsin as we speak, and more rain expected later on today as well. The high is 65. Tonight, the rain will end cloudy, a low of 41. For Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 58. Saturday, it's cloudy and cooler, slight chance for rain, a high of 48. Sunday, the high is 46. Monday, sunny, a high of 50. Right now in Milwaukee, 53. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1134.
Grandview buys homes. Hi, I'm Tom Delich, here to tell you Grandview will buy your home in any condition. Water damage, mold, cracks in the foundation, not a problem. Electrical issues, bad roof, peeling paint. We've seen and bought them all. Or maybe your home just hasn't been updated in 20 or 30 years. Grandview will buy your home too. Don't do a single repair. And best, take only the belongings you want and leave the rest to us. Sell your home as is today. Call the name you know and the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
Doesn't it seem like you never have anything to wear? That's why I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. Whether it's a designer top, jeans, an adorable skirt, or cute accessories, I always seem to find something I like. And at prices I love. Gently used women's clothing and accessories for far less than you thought possible. At St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hey, if you own a company or are a sales or office manager, you know how valuable your loyal employees are. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Show your appreciation and bring in lunch or dinner today from the amazing Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. Every Thursday, when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza free. Order 10 pizzas, get 10 free. Order 20, you get 20 free pizzas. Any size, topping, or quantity. And I love the Mind Chef pepperoni. Your second pizza is absolutely free. The best Thursday dining value anywhere. Add fresh garden salads to make it a perfect meal. Where would you be without your dedicated employees? Take care of them today. Also a great family outing. Buy a pizza, get a pizza free. Don't have a big family? Take one home for leftovers. It's the Mind Chef. Call now, pick up your pizza shortly, and bring your family in for that free pizza today. In downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh, I love the Mind Chef pizza. Call right now. It is the amazing Mind Chef. Check out the pizza.
Now, more of the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
Thanks for that Springsteen there, producer Brandon. Big time sports guy, Wisconsin Morning News. So, a lot of text on this, and if you missed the beginning, it's not a new proposal. It's been around since 2015. Whether you should have felons who can't own guns or shouldn't have guns, should they have access to vicious dogs? Now, Lots of people saying the same thing on the text line. You can join us, 855-616-1620 from the 414. Without going into how you can legislate the behavior of a dog, should anyone own vicious dogs? Good question. Jeff says, maybe it's just me, but I don't think anyone should have a vicious dog, as I just said. From the 262, one man's vicious dog is another man's Mr. Snugglepuss. Why should anyone be allowed to own vicious dogs? That's a great question. And beyond the bill proposal from State Senator Andre Jacques, the Pierre, Wisconsin, I get this. I got it a lot when I was mayor. Like, what defines this? Now, some communities, as you know, and you may live in one of these, they define it by breed. And that's sort of become unpopular. And for a lot of different reasons. One, it's filled shelters up with specific breeds like pit bulls and others. And I don't want to get into the whole pit bull thing because I know people have them, love them, but there's also a lot of incidents of some really dangerous situations. So set that aside. But there's a non-state legislature question here. And that's the conduct of your dog. So I can remember as a local elected leader getting involved in some of these cases where one neighbor has a dog, they call it lovable, the next door neighbor says this is the most vicious dog I've ever seen. So here's what I want you to define for me. Let's take it down to baseline level. I know that dogs love their owners for the most part, and they act completely different with their owners than they do with anyone who goes to the door or walks by the house. But here's what I've said for a long time. If your dog is not trained to react to other people besides the owners, that's on you. I talk about responsibility a lot with gun owners. That's not being a responsible dog or pet owner. It's just not. Because your dog does not have controlled behavior. For example, if you have an unfenced yard, or one of those buried fences that are supposed to keep your dog within the property lines. But dogs get out of those. A day doesn't go by where I don't see on Facebook somebody finds a dog somewhere in the city of Oak Creek. Is it too much to ask that when you own a dog, that you train the dog so that it can react with other people in a non-threatening, non-vicious manner? It can be taught. That behavior can be learned, even by dogs. Because so much of that stuff is the root of these problems. I've had friends who've had dogs that are just lovable with their owners, but anyone else, it's like a terrorist attack. To me, that's not being a responsible pet owner. Because part of living in a civilized world is dealing with other people. Tim joins the conversation from Sheboygan. Hey, Tim, welcome to the show. You're on WTMJ. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What do you think?
So I think the big difference when it comes to talking about the potential damage that these dogs can inflict, a vicious dog can be a vicious dog. They're wild animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the potential for damage that a 20-pound toy poodle versus a 80-pound pit bull can inflict is much different.
Sure.
I think that's the key point, that when people talk about pit bulls being a dangerous breed, there's good pit bulls and bad pit bulls. But at the end, it's a wild animal, and the potential for damage is just so much higher that the risk lies within that breed.
So let me talk to the two issues that I just raised. One is that we'll get to the bill one in a second, proposal that's been around since 2015. But on the other one, should a responsible dog owner of any breed, but let's just pick pit bulls, should they have the responsibility to train that dog so it doesn't react to anyone besides the owners in a very vicious, threatening fashion? My argument is yes, they should.
Yeah, of course. I mean, responsible dog ownership and training.
All right, so now let's take it one level higher, which is a state bill, state legislature, proposed by a state senator, that says if you're a felon, you can't own a dog that has been determined by law enforcement to be vicious. So if you have one, we'll take it away from you. If you try to purchase one and we determine that it's acting in a certain way, we'll also take it away from you. Does that go too far, or is that appropriate, do you think?
I think it's silly. It's way too subjective.
Well, what do we do about the fact that law enforcement is telling us that in some cases people are using these things as guard dogs, and it's preventing us from doing our jobs, especially in the areas of narcotics, human trafficking. They essentially have that barrier of what is in your term, a wild dog. Shouldn't we take those away so we don't have to deal with that barrier as members of law enforcement?
I think limiting access to specific breeds, regardless of your community's rules, from a state level, limiting access to anybody going to a shelter, a 16-year-old and adopting a pit bull is not responsible.
All right, thanks for the call, Tim. What I'm trying to get to is it's easy to just say a breed. But I can tell you, I would need both hands and all my toes to count the number of friends I have that have either a pit bull or a pit bull mix. Now, I don't interact with those people at their home, so I don't know how all their dogs react. But all I'm told over and over again is, how dare you criticize the breed? They're the most lovable. Yeah, that's to you. How do they react with other people? And this is a point that I want to make. It's how they react with other people. I think that is what we're talking about here. Being friendly to an owner and being vicious to everyone else, that, in my mind, is defined as a vicious dog. Diane says on the Old National Bank talking text line, I get the sense they try to limit the dogs surrounding drug houses and such. There may be a baseline of criminals where law enforcement is just trying to knock down a barrier to get to the criminals. Yes, that is what they're telling us. They have to make that assessment. What the state senator is trying to do is to codify that so that those people, they can't have that barrier. If they're a felon, they're operating something from a household or a place of residence. They can't have that additional barrier separating them from law enforcement. I'm not opposed to it. Frankly, I don't know why this is not more popular unless, and this is a big unless, and I'm not sure that this is based in fact or just me saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. There's a strong lobby from pet owners, companies that are associated with pet care, certain breeders that are basically saying, stop messing with us. Stop saying this breed's bad. It's not. And as the caller said, the perception is, for a lot of people, that pit bulls are somewhat dangerous. Lynn from Adele says, anybody hear of shots that put dogs to sleep so officers can go with some kind of a dart gun or something that shoot the dog and he'll go down? I don't know if that's real or not. And to be honest, that's one more thing that the officer has to do if they react to that. The dog whisperer, Caesar, what's the guy's name? Caesar Malone or Milan, believes, as I believe, there's no such thing as a bad dog, but bad dog handlers. Is that true? That's what I'm asking. That's the question I'm asking, literally asking that question. And I think dog owners, whatever it is, whatever breed, if your dog acts so much differently from their interactions with you to everyone else, that's not being a responsible gun owner. And I know that's a little bit of a tough pushback, but it would eliminate so many problems if you train your dogs properly. I have zero idea if this is going to go anywhere because it hasn't gone anywhere in 2015 or the other time it came up. It's up again as part of the budget process again. State Senator Andre Jacques. It's not breed specific. It's just asking the question, should felons have access to dogs that have been determined by law enforcement to be vicious? I support it, but I'm curious what dog owners say. We'll take a break here.
You're listening to the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Differentiation Officer Brian Wickert reminding home shoppers that working with AccuNet is different and better than working with your bank. Most bank pre-approvals state they've only verified the potential home buyer's credit, but not their income or money for down payment. To us, that's just crazy. AccuNet's rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval tells the seller we've checked out all three aspects of your financial health, and that we'll pay $2,000 if our pre-approval is faulty. Banks don't do that, but they do have a lot of overhead with all their vice presidents and fancy branches. We keep overhead low, which means lower rates and closing costs that are typically $1,000 to $3,000 lower than banks. Most importantly, our loan consultants can show you and your agent how to improve your financing and appraisal contingencies so your offer has the best chance of winning in a multiple offer situation. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Click on the blue button today for your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval. That's ACCUNET.com.
Hello, Dennis from White Lace Inn here in beautiful Door County. White Lace Inn has been providing gracious elegance, sincere hospitality, and relaxing getaways since 1982. Wander garden pathways that connect each of the 4 Victorian homes, 18 rooms and suites that make up White Lace Inn. White Lace Inn is just minutes away from restaurants, museums, shopping, hiking, bike trails, and all of Door County. When evening comes, return to White Lace Inn, relax in front of a romantic fireplace and step into an inviting whirlpool bath for two. Then climb into a luxurious bed for the night. The next morning, enjoy a delicious White Lace Inn breakfast, served with Door County coffee. White Lace Inn, consistently voted one of the most romantic inns of America. Whether it's a relaxing getaway, birthday, anniversary, honeymoon, or small destination wedding, amazing memories are waiting you at White Lace Inn. Open every night of the year. To find out more, take a tour at whitelaceinn.com. That's whitelaceinn.com.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
Wisconsin's own Gruber's offices. One call, that's all.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson saw her brother-in-law have surgery for pain in his elbow.
My brother-in-law, after that surgery, had his arm in a sling for almost 6 months, extensive PT, pain medication, a lot of restrictions of what he could not do.
So when Diane's husband, Greg, had a similar problem, she encouraged a different treatment, regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. And the experience was like night and day compared to his brother.
After 6 months, nothing. He hasn't felt any pain, and that has been 2 years since he's had treatment.
Plus, no drugs and no downtime.
He was literally out golfing when he wanted to and doing whatever he wanted to. It was probably 9 months before my brother-in-law got back out on the golf course, and my husband was on the golf course the entire time. And he was so elated. He goes, Diane, game changer.
Before you have surgery for that joint pain, get a second opinion. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Now, more of the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ.
A little bit of a pivot here, but when I was digging around on shoplifting, we were talking about it, I think it was Monday with Carol. And I've spent some time this week because I want to do a broader look at the concept of shoplifting and how it impacts retailers and customers and our bottom line, because frankly, we're all paying for this. There was a story that ABC had on yesterday, and this is the other side of this. I've been talked about. It was one of our questions on That's What Steve Said today about. I wish retailers would start taking this more seriously. Here's the other side of that. Home Depot, California. Here's the first line of the story. Shocking tragedy. A 26-year-old Home Depot employee was fatally shot after confronting an alleged shoplifter armed with a handgun at a California store. Killed someone who was described as an unarmed loss prevention employee. He tried to stop the theft in progress, according to the police department. The female suspect was leaving the store, trying to leave, with an item that she had not paid for. She resisted and shot him. The individual died from his injuries. The Pleasanton Police Department said his life was cut short by a senseless act of violence that started as a theft and turned into a robbery and ended in his murder. The shooting suspect, identified police as 32-year-old Benicia Knaps, allegedly escaped in a getaway car, which was eventually detained and the suspect arrested. Here's the challenge. You know, I've talked about the desire for retailers of all kinds, grocery, department stores, to figure this thing out. And you know, one of the ways they've done that is to install like secured display cabinets, right? So if you want an item, you have to go request the help of one of the clerks, and then they open it up, and then they sometimes even put it up at the front counter for you, or you have to pay for it. That's one way, and they've done that with a lot of the expensive items that you used to find in department stores, even though some of that has gone away because the risk outweighs the reward of carrying the item. I mentioned the Sam's Club model where they check your receipts. I would think that is effective because Sam's done it for so many years, where they're matching your cart with your receipts. Not perfect. Nothing's perfect. But in situations like this, a lot of the stores, a lot of the retailers are basically saying, we don't want our employees shot. This individual lost his life. He was 26 years old, trying to do his job. He was unarmed. The person stealing had a handgun. So it's hard for me to sit here and not acknowledge that there's real risks and challenges with being more aggressive with these people. And I don't have the easy answer for this stuff. What do we do? We're already paying for it. And I think the answer has to be increased security, and maybe it has to be more than an unarmed loss prevention specialist or whatever the title was. A lot of danger in the world. Somebody lost their life here trying to do his job. Like many things we talk about, that challenge, figuring that out, we can all be tough on shoplifters or want to hammer the folks who do that stuff, but how are you gonna make that work for everybody? This individual, 26 years old, just doing his job, dead. That's why this is more complex than sometimes it's made out to be. We'll see what Jeff's going to talk about after this on WTMJ.
You're listening to the Steve Scafidi Show on WTMJ. This week on WTMJ.
Wisconsin State Assembly, Deb Andraka.
We want to make sure that women who are pregnant can access the full range of care that their doctors say that they need.
The big names.
Marty Brooks, President and CEO of the Wisconsin Center District.
And the Wisconsin Center District owns outright all of the art that is currently on display.
The stories you're talking about.
To deal with the union a lot. I was God who handled grievances and everything like that. But once you accommodate one employee, you have to be fair across the board.
News Radio